26.
for Denver City Council meeting. Tonight's meeting is being interpreted into Spanish. Sam or Jasmine, would you please introduce yourself and let our viewers know how to enable translation on their devices?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Sam Guzman with the CLC. Joining me virtually through Zoom and along with my colleague Jasmine, we'll be interpreting today's meeting into Spanish. Please allow me a quick minute while I give instructions in Spanish on how to access the dictation. Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Samuel Guzmán con la CLC y juntamente con mi colega Jasmine estaremos interpretando la reunión de hoy al español. Si se une con nosotros virtualmente a través de Zoom, por favor, busque en su pantalla un icono de globo que dice Interpretación, oprime ese botón y de ahí seleccione la opción de escuchar en español. Si se une con nosotros presencialmente y está ahorita en la cámara, busca al fondo un asistente que le podrá dar audífonos para poder escuchar en español. Muchas gracias and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sam. Welcome to the Denver City Council meeting of Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Council members, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilmembers, please join Councilmember Parody as they lead us in the City Council land acknowledgement.
Hey, salute, man. Just in time.
The Denver City Council honors and acknowledges that the land on which we reside is the traditional territory of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho. We also recognize the contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. We honor elders, past, present, and future, and those who have stewarded this land throughout generations. We also recognize that government, academic, and cultural institutions look down upon and continue to enact exclusions and erasures of Indigenous peoples.
This
acknowledgement demonstrated commitment to working to dismantle ongoing legacies of oppression and inequities and to recognizing the current and future contributions of Indigenous communities in Denver.
I seen his ass on Saturday, man.
Madam Secretary, roll call. Councilmember Hines.
Here.
Councilmember here.
He was copping plays. I'm so glad that you speak at City Council. And I'm going to protect your right to speak at City Council.
Here. Sawyer here. Sawyer here. Watson
Here.
Madam President here. 13 members present. There are 13 members present. Council has a quorum. Approval of the minutes. Are there corrections to the minutes of February 17th? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved. Council announcements. Are there any council announcements this afternoon? Councilwoman Alvira Sanchez, start us off.
Great, thank you, President. I want to invite everyone to attend a performance by Modus Theater in District 7 this Saturday at 1 p.m. at HQ, located at 60 South Broadway. Modus Theater is a Denver-based nonprofit that brings powerful autobiographical monologues to the stage and does improv theater. This is an improv theater performance. On Saturday, they will be presenting playback theater performance focusing on loving our immigrant neighbors. Audience and members are invited to share their personal stories of connection, solidarity, and belonging, which are improvised live on stage by Modus Theater Playback Ensemble. This event creates a space for transformative listening and civic dialogue at a time when immigrant communities face harmful rhetoric. Come witness how these stories change lives and learn about your neighbors.
You did it the wrong way.
I also wanted to commend the mayor for his effort on a moratorium on data centers. I think that's something that's really important and appreciate the support of that measure. I also just want to acknowledge that this is the same administration that in 2024 came to us for millions of dollars worth of incentives for a data center in the GES community, and don't want to erase that past. Finally, I also want to acknowledge the people of Mexico during this deeply complex and painful moment. I think a lot of us have seen what is playing out on social media and on the news currently with extreme violence. This reality is that the impacts of organized crime and drug trafficking do not stop at the border. The United States also plays a huge role in this shared crisis through the demand for drugs that fuel cartel power, through the flow of weapons that too often make their way south, and through political decisions that reverberate far beyond our own communities. We must be honest about that interconnected responsibility. And my heart is with the families that are trying to stay safe and trying to have food and water and fuel during this time. It's been really heartbreaking to see a beautiful place that I love, Puerto Vallarta, in flames. And I just want to acknowledge that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you, Madam President. Two things that I want to make sure community has on their calendar.
Right.
This Saturday, several of us are participating on a town hall for electeds representing Northwest and West Denver. This will feature our House Rep, 3 members from Denver City Council, and 2 of our DPS board members. And it begins in June. I'll make sure to post that on my social media. But for right now, it is available on Cecilia Espinosa's Instagram account for finding the location. So to see folks attending that one. And then Broncos Community Benefits Agreement meeting, there'll be a focus group this Friday at 5:30 p.m. regarding housing, services, and displacement. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilperson Gilmore?
Thank you. I wanted to give a quick update to the council and members of the public. In January, when we were celebrating the proclamation for the anniversary of the National Western Stock Show, a young woman, her name is Justice Maldonado. She and her grandmother came and joined us and shared her perspective regarding the Westernaires and how she was treated, and that basically the Westernaires were reenacting a homicide live with young children dressing up as American Indian people and cavalry officers and enacting this. And it's been at past talk shows, but that particular evening we had the new CEO of the National Western Stock Center here and his wife, and we did some follow-up with Justice and others in the community. And on Saturday, Justice's grandmother sent me this text, and Justice spoke about the immense pain and trauma that she experienced being in the Westernaires because she wanted to learn about horses. She wanted to increase that skill. She did not realize that it was going to be a cultural aspect of it that was very, very outdated. And so I am happy to report that the Westernaires Board has decided to halt any continuing Native dance or programming. It will no longer continue as of February 2026. And so I appreciate this council bearing witness to Justice speaking on camera on Panel 8. That went a long, long way, and we made an enacted change. Ultimately, I think the desire would be that it's not an erasure of history by just saying they're not going to do it anymore. I think that this may be upon further reflection. Hopefully there is an opportunity to listen to more young people in the family and for family to do better in this space and not have that erasure. And so wanted to let this council know that information. And then we had an amazing town hall last Wednesday with Senator Coleman, Representative Bacon, and the new DPS school board member, Monica Hunter. It was really well attended. And then my final item is based on everything that we're seeing with the to continue people to be very vocal about the purchase of warehouses and further detention centers across the United States. Because when you track those maps and look at what is trying to happen out on the northeastern plains, it is creating a detention industrial complex that these contracts and this work will possibly go far beyond this administration. And so wanting to raise that as an issue, and hopefully in the council or in a regional approach with other city councils and other mayors, making those asks, and ultimately the governor pushing back on those detention centers in the entire United States, but specifically in Colorado because of the history and showing what they've shown on TV. That is not pleasing in any shape or form, and it really calls further into question the human rights violations that are taking place in these detention centers. Thank you.
Bitch, what about the
Councilperson
prisons in the fucking
Madam
jails
President.
and the human
I
rights
just wanted to
violations that are
acknowledge
occurring there?
the
They don't
Councilwoman
say nothing
Gilmore
about
for
that.
having
Look at that
justice
stupid
and
bitch
the
with
change
Dan's
within the
there, too.
Westerners. That's a really big deal. And I look forward to kind of that next step of one, the halting of what activities were happening, but then also thinking of what can we do moving forward in the future.
Black
That's
shirt.
pretty exciting. I wanted to invite folks in the district and golfers and others this Thursday to the Kennedy Golf Clubhouse visioning of what it's going to be. There's going to be a new clubhouse at the golf course, which is a big deal. They have talked about having and incorporating public space there as well for community to gather. And we have such a limited
Put some clothes on,
space
bitch,
in
before you get on
Southeast Denver
camera.
that is our public space. So I just want to encourage everyone to go 5:30 to 7, weigh in on the design and what that final clubhouse will look like. And it's going to be at Kennedy Golf Course at the clubhouse Thursday, 5:30 to 7. I said 9. Ooh, that's too long. 5:30 to 7. Thanks. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Councilmember Watson.
Thank you, Madam President. Tomorrow evening, Tuesday, February 24th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., we're having a meeting at Foresight to discuss data centers. All are encouraged to attend. We'll have members from the city, from Foresight, from Excel, from Denver Water to engage in this discussion. Geotech is located at 2650 East 40th Avenue. We look forward to community coming out to this very important discussion. Two comments. First, thank you to the governor and to the mayor for finally lowering the flags in honor of Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's definitely a delayed response. We didn't have to wait for the federal government to do this. We should have done it on our own, but I appreciate Governor Polis and Mayor Johnston making that decision today to start that and for it to be lowered through the end of the month. A similar story of impact to the African American community. Today, February 23rd, marks the 6th year of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery was running in Georgia in a neighborhood next to his. He was hunted down, shot, and killed. That struck me directly as a runner as well. I run through communities. I've shared with the city council the steps that I take when I run, even in Denver. My husband knows where I'm at. He has a track on me as far as to find the app on my phone to know exactly where I'm going, to make sure that I am safe. Even today, as I'm running up through Park Hill, if I see a person that's not a person of color, I yell at the top of my lungs, "On your left," so that I don't startle them to the point that they think I'm running after them. It's a damn shame that I have to do that, but it is the truth. Once Ahmaud Arbery was killed, the week after, I got together with some other Black runners and we renewed the Black Men Run Denver program here in Denver. I want to thank Jeff Armstrong and all the other brothers that have continued the Black Men Run Denver. I think there were about 60 or 70 runners this past weekend, in honor of Ahmaud Arbery. So today in our line, the levels of racial prejudice and actually looking at Black men as a danger instead of as a community member persists, and that persistence can mean death to many of us. And so keeping in mind Reverend Jackson and what he believed in, thank you for lowering the flags and remembering the life and death and the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, I think is important this month of Black History Month and every month. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilmember Cashman.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. April 1st is normally a day of trips, and District 6 is going to give you a couple hours of treats instead. That evening from 6 to 8 p.m. at Cook Park Recreation Center, we're hosting our annual Academy in the community. This is the opportunity for residents to come out and speak to city agencies face to face, get questions answered rather than get your messages lost in City Hall somewhere. We'll have representatives of the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, Parks and Rec, Planning, Parks, Denver Mountain Parks, Police, Fire, Sheriff, Public Health and Environment, outside partners like Denver Water, Xcel Energy, a whole bunch. It's a great evening, and come on out and face-to-face time with the people who can answer important questions for you. Again, April 1st, 6 to 8 p.m. Cook Park Recreation Center. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez Gutierrez.
I think Councilman Lewis is before me.
Oh, sorry. Councilwoman.
I just wanted to make a quick announcement about joint town hall with the leaders in my community. Some of them, Central Park, United Neighbors, the East Colfax Community Collective, Mount Bello 2020, the Greater Park Hill Community, and I'm probably missing one, and I do apologize to them. The Northeast, near Northwest Coalition, they are holding a joint town hall tomorrow, February 24th. From 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. At the Mosaic campus, which is on 17th Avenue in Quebec. And so would encourage all of my neighbors to attend this joint town hall. We'll be hearing from Dottie, as well as a number of other city agencies, as well as having a resource fair for folks who are in need of resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez Gutierrez. Madam President, I just want to thank everybody that showed up at the Lunar New Year celebration. There were a lot of people there. It was probably the biggest one that we've seen yet. Councilwoman Torres.
Yes.
And it was beautiful to get to do the unveiling of the mural on the side of the building, and then to see them get their historic designation from History Colorado, from the Far East Center. Just really an exciting weekend. And I'm also really appreciative of the work, the panel that Councilman Watson and I sat on that morning for the Colorado Black Roundtable. I think there were a lot of people recording that, so there might be some information out there for folks, and this was in regards to Blacc. The last thing I want to do is just as a personal privilege is to wish my daughter a happy 15th birthday as my middle child. And so I want to make sure she gets, all the recognition. And I wrote this quote in her card this morning, a quote from Oprah. Always remember you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you know.
Exactly.
She is in high school soccer tryouts today. So of course, on her birthday, doing tryouts. So as we know, many of us have to wear different hats and take on a lot, even on our birthdays. So wishing her a happy birthday. Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah, that's a choice.
Happy birthday to your daughter. Councilmember Hines.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank my colleagues. There were a lot of important and heavy announcements today, so thank you for tuning in, and thank you to my colleagues for naming so many heavy topics. I'll just open and say that I believe that housing is a human right, and it's important that we all have access to housing, and that it is a shared responsibility
throughout the city of Denver and frankly in the Denver metro area too.
But you're talking about house
I
and illegals.
did not call off
You're talking about house and illegals.
260118 for comments because
When they talk about
frankly
house,
I'd
and
love
they
for it
talk
to
about
stay on
house and
consent.
illegals.
And but I did want to take a moment in announcements to say that I'm very excited to see that that we are working on another 133 income restricted units and through a loan from the city of Denver to Northeast Denver Housing Center that will be in the Uptown neighborhood. And so I think that it is a shared responsibility, but I also believe that District 10 being close to the center city, close to jobs, close to resources, close to healthcare, and close to shopping. This Uptown at 1600 Block of Pearl will be an amazing spot for another 133 income restricted units. Thank you to my colleagues for not calling it off. It will go through unanimously on consent, and so thank you for to my colleagues for supporting housing as a human right, and thank you to the city of Denver for being willing to provide a loan to Northeast Denver Housing Center so that we can have more housing in our center city. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. One of the bills that is on first reading is Councilman Sawyer and I are sponsoring a budget reporting ordinance that is focused on good governance, transparency, and building a shared understanding of the city's financial health. It will require quarterly reporting to City Council. So on our announcements today, when we have communications, it would be part of there. And the usage of the general fund performance will be, and the usage of on-call contracts in a standardized, clear, and accessible format. So thank you, Councilman Sawyer, for working on that with us. I also want to, there is some cool things that are happening in Northwest Denver. The community is invited to attend a public meeting regarding the proposed Little Italy of Denver Historic District in Northwest Denver, and it's Thursday, February 26th at St. Mount Carmel. I think, Gina, that's correct. Gina, you're hearing me, and it's not 3517 Navajo Street. This meeting is an opportunity for you to share your thoughts and your voices on an opinion on this important topic. And to piggyback off of Councilwoman Alvarez, I have some friends I know who are stuck in Puerto Vallarta right now. I have some family members who are being impacted. I have friends, family members who are being impacted. And so my thoughts are with everyone. And I care deeply about the well-being of those communities here, and remain hopeful for the most positive outcome possible. So just want to keep Mexico, which is just our neighbor, in our thoughts and prayers, and that everybody can work together to get home peacefully. I know a couple who have reached out to me, a couple of my constituents who are literally stuck there. So thank you all, and that's all the communications and all the announcements. There are no presentations, there are no communications. There's one proclamation being read this afternoon. Councilmember Lewis, can you please read proclamation 0197?
Yes, thank you. A proclamation honoring the African American Kwanzaa tradition in the city and county of Denver. Whereas Kwanzaa is a sacred cultural celebration born from African heritage and stewarded within the African American community as an intentional affirmation of identity, dignity, and collective memory.
That's wrong.
Guided by the Mbuzu Saba, I don't want to get any of these wrong, so I'm going to take my time. Umoja, which means unity. Kujichagulia, which means self-determination. Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Ojama, which is cooperative economics. Mia, purpose. And Ula, creativity. And Imani, for faith. Principles that call communities to live with purpose, accountability, and cultural pride. And whereas
Since 1968, African American families in Denver gather within their homes to rotate nightly Kwanzaa celebrations, transforming living rooms into sacred cultural spaces where education, ritual, storytelling, and ancestral remembrance were lovingly preserved and passed forward. Whereas, as these gatherings expanded beyond the walls of family homes, Denver's historic Five Points community emerged as a collective sanctuary for celebration, a cultural heartbeat where African American heritage, artistry, and communal responsibility could flourish in shared space. And whereas Denver's Kwanzaa tradition has been shaped by visionary African American cultural stewards, including nationally acclaimed griot, Opalonga Pugh, Ken and Jerry Grimes, Harriet Ayers, and generations of elders and organizers whose leadership safeguarded the integrity of the celebration and ensured its evolution remained rooted in the ancestral reverence and community care.
Man, I had a good ass time for like.
And whereas Denver's observance is distinguished by enduring cultural expressions that honor creativity and lineage, including opening night celebrations at the Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Theater, the nightly lighting of the 12-foot Grand Canara, if you haven't seen it, you should, first constructed in 1991, a senior luncheon celebrating elders as living vessels of wisdom, and Opalonga's Big Dance, each ritual reflecting the joy, resilience, and artistic brilliance of African American cultural life. And whereas Denver's Circle of Wisdom stands as a living council of African American elders, inducted each year to embody accountability, affirmation, and guardianship of community well-being, ensuring that cultural leadership remains anchored in lived experience and intergenerational responsibility. And whereas Denver Circle of Ancestors honors those who have transitioned, elders who walk in wisdom during their lifetime or were recognized, affirming their ancestral presence continues to protect, guide, and spiritually fortify the community through remembrance and ritual. And whereas each Kwanzaa gathering in Denver is intentionally curated as a site of cultural education and sacred continuity, where Kwanzaa teachings preserve African American heritage, libations honor ancestral lineage, and intergenerational experiences both elders and children as keepers of memory and architects of the future. And whereas the city and county of Denver recognizes that this African American Kwanzaa tradition is not merely a celebration, but a living act of cultural preservation, healing artistry, and collective affirmations, a testament to the enduring strength, creativity, and legacy of African American community life. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Denver City Council proudly honors and affirms the African American Kwanzaa tradition carried in the city and county of Denver since 1968, recognizing the generations of families, elders, artists, educators, and cultural stewards whose devotion has sustained this sacred observance. Be it further proclaimed that the Denver City Council expresses profound gratitude and reverence for the Denver Kwanzaa Committee, Denver Circle of Wisdom, and the Circle of Ancestors whose leadership and ancestral presence continue to guide this living tradition. Be it further proclaimed that the city and county of Denver acknowledges Kwanzaa as a powerful expression of African American heritage, resilience, and communal responsibility, and celebrates the values it embodies as pillars of cultural continuity and vitality.
Now get your first.
Right.
Me and we're supposed to work together as a group.
I'm about to speak. Y'all need to, with Jesse Jackson passing, y'all need to pass that African American term too.
Councilmember, your motion to adopt.
We do that during the codification of reparations.
I move that we adopt proclamation number 260197.
Has been moved and seconded. Comments by members of council? Councilmember Lewis.
I'm gonna get them hip to it.
I'll let Councilwoman Perry go first.
Okay, Councilmember Perry.
I just want to say, one of the resonances that I have with the 7 Kwanzaa values is with another, I think, related historical and cultural concept from Southern Africa, which is Ubuntu, which I know you all will be well aware of. I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time in South Africa during sort of college law school when I was learning about the world. And that concept to me, that idea that you're human through other humans, like humanity is relational, and you're only a person through other people, I think is just one of the most beautiful expressions of humanity that I've ever encountered, and it's something that I've just taken on as a value, and I love that particular, I love that word for it. I think the 7 Kwanzaa principles also circle around that idea and reflect it so beautifully. So I'm so glad we have this proclamation tonight, and one of the things I learned, learning a little more about considering that I'm not from here, obviously I'm not from any Black community anywhere. I don't know the history of these things in Denver, and so I've learned some things tonight that as a council member I should know and I'm glad to know. Thank you all for coming, and thank you so much, Councilmember Lewis, for putting this together. So we haven't had it before, so thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Blacc.
Yes, and thank you, Councilmember Lewis, for sponsoring this, and from the Virgin Islands. We did not, as I was growing up, have this as part of our tradition. It was only upon moving to Colorado in 1987, which I heard of Kwanzaa. And I think the importance of Kwanzaa in unifying peace rooted in our elders, and not just simply their stories or their lives, and then also inspiring our youth to take that experience, take that love, and to take our culture forward, I think is essential. So we want to thank all of the folks who put this on every year in 5 points, which is the root at home. No matter how gentrified or displaced our community is, 5 points,
no matter how,
5 points, and it is an honor.
It is gentrified. That was a shot at me.
And you continue to do
that. Was a shot at me because I'm the one that's talking about the gentrification over there.
Thank you, Council President. It's always good, no matter what, to hear elders' names spoken in public places. Charlotte and myself and Scott, way back when, we're up to Colorado Division of Wildlife, now Parks and Wildlife, and I remember Opalonga talking to students when we would take them camping, when we would take them fishing. I remember one time we stood out in a rainstorm at Rocky Mountain National Park, and she had her staff, and she told stories far into the night, and everyone was just raptured by what she was. It was a special moment, and so thank you so much, Councilman Lewis, for allowing us to speak elders' names, and those many thousands, if not millions, millions that appreciate this recognition. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman Lewis. Thank you. I lost my notes, so I'm just going to have to speak from my heart. I remember the first time I learned about Kwanzaa, and I was well into adulthood when I learned about Kwanzaa. And there was some shame around that because I felt like as a kid, this was something that should have been taught, specifically around the principles, because there's such powerful principles to be able to really ground your life in. And so I have a deep appreciation for it. I also have a deep appreciation for the work that you all have done to keep Kwanzaa alive and running. And I had such a beautiful opportunity to attend one of the days of Kwanzaa just this year. And it is so sacred and so beautiful and so heartwarming, and a place that you all just pour into community. And you could see folks coming out of their houses trying to figure out what the heck was happening each day. And so I just really appreciate that. So thank you for pouring into community in such a special way and really grounding community in these shared principles and keeping the names of folks alive in order to be able to do this work. I just really appreciate it. So thanks for the invitation. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Yeah.
Councilmember Hyman.
Aye.
Yeah.
Bobby Benz. Aye. Glenn.
Big salary. Yeah.
Gilmore. Aye. Gonzalez Gutierrez. Aye. Cashman.
Aye.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Aye. Harity. Aye. Romero Campbell. Aye. Sawyer. Aye. Flores.
Three in the
Aye.
circle of wisdom.
Watson.
Aye.
Or four in the circle of wisdom.
Aye. Madam Secretary, close the voting, announce the result.
And that's stupid piece of dance there.
13 ayes, proclamation 0197 has has been adopted. We now have time for the proclamation acceptance. Councilmember Lewis, who will you be inviting up to accept the proclamation?
I would like to invite up the Circle of Wisdom, and then when you all come up, if you all could introduce yourselves, because I'd love for folks to know your names and attach it to the wonderful work you do.
Tacky nails. Twin says she got tacky nails.
You done?
Bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mama Dorothy.
Come on, say something.
Good afternoon, my name is Mariko.
Hey, yeah.
That's
Yay.
my favorite. She's my favorite. That's my
There's Dorothy.
Dorothy, and
Hey, Miss Dorothy.
I in Stockton. We have 5 generations here.
Yep, 5 generations. That's right.
Our family.
That's Mama Dorothy right there.
Chocolate chips on her face.
She's like 6'3".
My name is Carla Green, and Styles African American Heritage Center, which you guys honored earlier this month, is the home of the Denver Quantum Community.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lee Steed, and I am part of the Circle of Wisdom.
Come on, Kojo. Where Kojo at? Come on, Kojo. Oh, the baby.
I'm Minister Darrell J. Walker and part of the Circle of Wisdom.
Yeah.
And it is an honor to be here to serve, but also to be appreciated the work and
We know all these people.
all of principles of Kwanzaa that are not for just Black people.
Come on, Kojo.
It's the human race. That's exciting.
Come on, Kojo. Come on, Kojo. Oh, Lord, the former damn police officer there. I see.
My name is John Marsh. If you look at my birth certificate, I'm referred to as Kojo Mabutu Alumeyu.
Yeah, that's right.
Warrior and peacemaker. Yep. The creator of all the universe.
That's right.
When we speak of our festival of Kwanzaa, which is from December 26th until January 1 of each year.
That's right, baby.
However, with that being said, the purpose of Kwanzaa is to be a principle every day, 365 days.
He's like looking like you fucking.
Me personally, I concentrate on Kuji Chakalia.
Kuji Chakalia. God damn it, say it right.
That self-determination is what makes me very excited being invited by this committee to speak to it. We haven't said things beyond open mind pew, big home,
and the baby.
We haven't said things like every year a new group of young people step up to support us.
Yeah.
Because many of us may not be here this time next year when we're speaking of Kwanzaa.
Come on now, Kojo.
Again, please accept that every year, every day, I try to accept a specific principle.
Yep,
and that principle today, again, is for me, Kuji Chakalia,
which is self-determination.
And I thank the council for giving us this moment to speak publicly about what we do 365 days each year.
That's right, Kojo. Okay. Yeah, you got the damn police there. Like, what the fuck is the police doing there? And then, the bitch Medina. Here comes this bitch Medina.
I actually try to keep myself quiet and humble when the Circle of Wisdom is around because honestly, I'm just in complete observation mode. So I do want to thank Councilwoman Chantel Lewis for being so thoughtful and to ensure that this city slows down to understand what is being held. Kwanzaa is absolutely something that should be practiced and observed
every day of the year.
Every day.
And we are able to celebrate that at the end of the year. That's an invitation to proximity of the culture. It is for everyone. It is an invitation. A lot of people will try to isolate it to just a Black holiday or an alternative to Christmas, and it's never been either one. It's always been an invitation for community to come together with intentionality, because when you think about the 7 principles, that is not exclusive for Black community, that is for everyone. And if we stay interconnected on those principles, we might actually start doing something a little bit more right than we have been. So with that, it's an honor to just share the space with the Circle of Wisdom. I've been watching them since I was a little girl, and so and then just the way they hold the Circle of Ancestors. My mother is a part of the Circle of Ancestors, so every year that we celebrate, I get closer to her, and so it's an honor to be participatory and to, I guess, be the youngin in the room, trying to keep it alive. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tahani as well.
Come on, Tahani. Tahani,
my name is Tahani McMillan, and I'm just glad to be here with Circle of Wisdom. I've also been involved in Kwanzaa and 5 Points since I was a child. My mother is a part of 5 Points. Olanga Pugh was a really big mentor for me as a child, gave me my first tea party, and just a lot of women advice. So I'm just glad to be here and watch it come full circle. So thank you. What's your baby's name? This is Maji McMillan.
Aww.
He's gonna run Kwanzaa in like 15 years.
Yes, you will.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate you.
Yes. Fuck that bitch Medina, though.
Because you're a fucking off
That bitch. Congratulations.
Yes.
So Dr. Claudette Sweet also does a lot of work in this space, and she was hoping to be able to connect online, and she's having troubles doing so. And so I just want to say her name in the space because she's been doing work in community for 65 plus years. She's
I'm not even gonna let me speak. They're definitely not gonna let me speak, but they should.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please read the bills for introduction.
From the Finance and Business Committee, 26-0128, a bill for an ordinance regarding financial reporting to City Council. From the Health and Safety Committee, 26-0125, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 28, the revised municipal code concerning law enforcement officer identification. And from the South Platte River Committee, 26-0103, a bill for an ordinance approving and accepting the Southwest Area Plan, which plan shall become a part of the Comprehensive Plan 2040 for the city and county of Denver, pursuant to the provisions of Section 12-61 of the Denver Revised Municipal Code.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Council members, this is your last opportunity to call out an item.
So
Councilmember Perry, will you please make motions for us this evening?
Yes, Council President Sandoval.
Thank you. Now we'll do a recap. Under resolutions, Council Resolution 0109 has been called out for comments by Councilmember Perry, and Council Resolution 0122 has been called out for questions. Sorry. Questions by Councilmember Lewis.
You see, Hines ain't there.
Under bills for introduction, Council Bill 0125 has been called out for comments by Councilmember Alvidas and Lewis. Under bills for final consideration, Council Bill 0096 has been called out for comments by Councilmember Sawyer and Gilmore. Under pending, no items have been called out. Madam Secretary, please put the first item on our screens. Council Bill 0125. A bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 28 of the Revised Municipal Code concerning law enforcement officers' identification.
Madam President, since Councilwoman Lewis isn't in the room, could we possibly swap that with Councilman Gilmore and I to give her a little bit more time to take a photo? Because I know that she would hate to miss the opportunity to comment on that.
No problem. All right, Madam Secretary,
okay with you.
Please put the next item on our screens. Council Bill 0096, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 53 of the Revised Municipal Code concerning property tax assistance payments. Councilmember Sawyer, please go ahead with your comments on Council Bill 260096.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to just first start by thanking Councilmember Gilmore and our staff for all of their hard work on this. So tonight is second reading of the updates to our property tax ordinance. This is something Councilwoman Gilmore and I have been working on since 2023. So we're real happy that the night is finally here, that we get to celebrate it. So for those watching at home, Denver has a property tax ordinance, a rebate program for qualifying residents of Denver. So you can go on our Department of Housing Stability website. You can fill out an application if you would like to. Remember that it's a rebate, so the program is in arrears. So if you are filling it out now, you would be filling it out for your 2024 property taxes. After May 1st of this year, you would be filling it out for your 2025 property taxes. But it is an opportunity for us to address and help with the challenge of gentrification and displacement in the city and county of Denver, which we know is a significant problem. So the changes that Councilwoman Gilmore and I have made are changes that help open up the program to more people, to more homeowners in specific, and provide an opportunity to this is really actually our only tool in the city and county of Denver to address gentrification and displacement of property owners. And we know our property owners, where the challenge is there is that is generational wealth, right? If someone is forced out of their home because they cannot afford their property taxes, then they lose that asset and they lose the wealth growth associated with that asset for all of the generations behind them who may come. So that's what we mean when we're talking about generational wealth and when we're talking about gentrification and displacement. And so, Councilwoman Gilmore, I will let you speak, but I just want to flag we're not asking for a vote, just comments today. We know that all of our fellow council members support it, so we'll go through on consent, but really excited in the work that we have done and gotten to where we are with our property tax rebate program as our opportunity to really help support our homeowners in the city of Denver to ensure that we are doing everything we can to address gentrification and displacement. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilwoman Sawyer. We got here. It took a long time for us to, I think, educate the administration on the program, but then also the program was sitting within Denver Human Services. And so we had to move it out of Denver Human Services, move it over to host. And as we were sharing all of the information, when we started this program, the city didn't even have a housing division. Host didn't exist. And so looking at how far we've come as a city, but then also homeowners are one of those populations that we don't have a lot of programs, either at the city or at the state, to really help them out. And so super excited to get this passed and get the information out to others who it might help more broadly. And want to thank the host staff, Ian and Melissa, along with the Denver Human Services staff as well, and of course our council aides and Councilmember Sawyer. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please put the next item on our screens. Council Bill 0125, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 28 by the revised municipal code concerning law enforcement officers. Councilmember Alvarez, please go ahead with your comments on Council Bill 0125.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you specifically for all your support on this and helping us get this through. Your experience came in very handy. Very grateful for that. And Councilwoman Lewis, thank you so much for all your work, and to all my colleagues. I'm really grateful that we're at this place at this time when, like Councilwoman Parody said, that we took it for granted that law enforcement wasn't wearing masks. And it's not anything that we ever planned or thought of passing, but until last year when we started seeing mask agents harassing people across our country, and even before we saw anyone get murdered. So thank you, Councilwoman Lewis, for being a partner in this foresight, and I appreciate all the collaboration from the administration and the city attorney's office as well. That's all. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilmember Lewis?
Thank you. I really appreciate the work that we were able to do, Councilman Alvidrez, as well as the support from Council President and the rest of the folks on council. I did want to just name a few things, and I think we talked about this a bit during Mayor Council, but just to underscore that what we, during committee, there were some concerns from the administration about some changes and how to ensure that we can make this legislation operational, and so some of those changes included removing the 25-foot requirement, additionally removing the penalty for impersonating an officer, which we heard some concerns about, and then clarifying some language about the culpability. And so just wanted to name those things, and I believe that these changes have been acceptable to my council colleagues as well as the administration in order for us to be able to keep folks safe. And I want to say for community, because I've heard this sentiment is because we're putting these measures in place doesn't mean that we agree with the way that ICE is still handling folks in our community, or that we are in agreement with circumventing due process and kidnapping from folks from our streets. Like, this is a both and conversation where we're trying to figure out where we have some influence and opportunity, and that we are against this inhumane treatment that's happening within our cities, and that we're prepared for such. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Watson?
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank once again both sponsors. And I also wanted to speak quite honestly. I think there was a thought process that this bill was controversial. It's never been, for me, controversial. The idea that folks with masks without clear authority are picking up folks in our community and taking them outside of the regular process. It's not controversial that they shouldn't be wearing masks. That's the minimum. If you are going to engage or contact a community member, they should be able to see your face. If you're going to engage in lethal force against a member of our community, they should be able to see your face. So I never saw this as a controversial piece. I saw this as an important step that both of you took forward to lead on, and I appreciate your leadership. Grateful for the opportunity to support that, and grateful that this is going through tonight. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to the sponsors. There were lots of moving pieces. Alex, lots of moving pieces. I just appreciated you. I think I contacted you really late on a Friday, and I asked you if you could both hop on a call, and I think I heard back from you immediately, and we hopped on a call at 7:30 Saturday morning. And we made calls all weekend long to come circle back around on Monday. And that's what sometimes it takes, is working. And so just want to say that you two showed what it looks like to lead for the next 7 generations. We'll have to live with this. My daughter and my son are thinking about this right now. My son works in a restaurant, and he asked me the other day what would happen if someone came in masked into his restaurant at La Casita. I've had to talk to the tamaleros what would happen outside the restaurant if someone came in masked. And so one thing that our community wants is action. And how do you lead with leading with action? This is how you lead with action. So just want to commend the both of you for working with the administration and getting those concerns that we had so that this could pass unanimously. And like Councilmember Watson said, this isn't controversial. We just wanted it to be operational. I wanted to make sure that we passed an ordinance that could be implemented right away as soon as the mayor signs it. So thank you all for your steadfast work on this. It's really amazing. Madam Secretary, please put the next item on our screens. Council Resolution 0122, a resolution approving a proposed purchase order between the City and County of Denver and Asbury Automotive Group, Inc. for the one-time purchase of replacement vehicles for the Denver Police Department citywide. Councilmember Lewis, please go ahead with your questions on Council Resolution 0122.
Yes, thank you. So, can you tell me how DPD does their asset management and how you all determine when to replace your fleet vehicles? And is there some language that you all can add to legislate that discusses the asset management practices in the ordinance request form? Any questions? Sure. I'm happy to do one at a time. So if you could first speak about how DPD does asset management.
Sure, my name is Michelle Fulmer.
Where is Michael?
Police Department, and one of the things that we're seeing is fleet. I also have Fleet Manager Jeff Navarro for access virtually should we go down and want to some numbers, but absolutely. In a nutshell, the way that we do our fleet management is based on industry standards in relationship to police vehicles, because we tend to drive them just a little differently than say a normal customer would drive a vehicle. So the standard is 5 years or 75,000 miles for patrol vehicles, or not patrol vehicles, or about 7 years, 90,000 miles for our detective vehicles, and maybe some of our more special unit vehicles. The way that we also calculate the use and care of wear and tear on the vehicle is what's unique to police is that we idle our vehicles a lot because our car is our office. So we're out in the field doing reports, maybe holding scene, a traffic accident, something like that. And so on average, our average fleet right now, about 40 to 45% is over 10 years old. And the fleet replacement that we had put forth and asked for 2026, the average mileage on those vehicles are 108,000 miles. Okay. And what we have to add to that is when we do the math for the idling time, it adds about 70,000 miles of engine wear and tear a year. So times that by, for easy math, for 10 years. So we're looking at about vehicles that we're looking to replace, technically now about 700 to 800,000 miles of wear on that engine.
Thank you. I chuckle because I haven't had a car in a very long time, but I remember the commercials and the police department saying don't leave your vehicles idling, during the winter. And it was like, maybe it would have been more pervasive if you all told them that it actually adds wear and tear versus get your car stolen. So that's what I was laughing about. So it wasn't my favorite. The second piece of that is, so how do you all, So the airport does a really good job of helping us to walk through their asset management. I was wondering if you all could add something like to register in the filed materials, just to give us an idea of how you all are thinking about the replacement of your fleet. Sure. Essentially what you just told me, because in my mind when I read this, I was like, didn't we just approve some of these cars? And that's probably true. But it sounds like we're still behind, even though we're approving.
Yes, Councilmember, to give a little context, two kind of major things, maybe three. The two major things is about 10 years ago, we did a massive purchase of about, less than 300 cars, which was great. However, since then, and historically, over the last decade, we have been about 20% underfunded per year. So that's compounding underfunding for fleet replacement. And so the other good news is thank you for hiring more officers. With that, we need some more vehicles to go along with it. So with the aging of the fleet, about 40% to be 10 years plus and well over 100,000 miles, then we're starting to have the breakdowns. And some of that, again, is we have the replacement, we have the COVID years, so we had less replacement during those years, so we're behind the 8 ball and trying to catch up. So when we did the totals, and Jeff needs to speak in, currently about 151 vehicles are meeting that eligibility that need replacement, because we're also looking at and I have to give a shout out to the mechanics. They do an incredible job, our fleet management, keeping those vehicles running. But they're also doing the breakdowns on how much that vehicle is costing, because some things are wearing and tearing, so the parts in the vehicles as well. That all gets calculated into the value of the car and then also the depreciation of the car. So that's how when Fleet Manager Navarro is looking at those assets, which ones we are trying to put on that replacement list, to be as mindful and prudent about which ones are costing the city the most money, while we're also trying to catch up with replacement.
Super helpful. And this is my final question. You mentioned 151 of the vehicles. Is that the 40%?
That's within that, yes.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You went out of order. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, that was on me. I'm sorry.
That was me. It was all of us. The next item on our screen is Council Resolution 0109, a resolution approving a proposed agreement between the City and County of Denver and Insight Public Sector Inc. for various Microsoft software licensing for Denver County Park. Councilmember Parity, please go ahead with your comments on Council Resolution 0109.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I called this off because I just think it's worth highlighting, similar to how we consider the issue with Key Lime Air, which is different in magnitude, I would say. But there are many private companies making choices about allowing their products and services to be used for ICE enforcement. And there was an interesting investigation trying to figure out, because Microsoft is one of these just massive companies that has its tentacles in so much technology, trying to figure out whether Microsoft was doing that, essentially. They have stated as a company that the sort of what a Microsoft's spokesperson said in response to this investigation, which I'll describe in a second, is that Microsoft's policies in terms of service do not allow our technology to be used for the mass surveillance of civilians, and we don't believe ICE is engaged in such activity. Second clause, I think, is just not true. In particular, ICE is using quite a bit of facial recognition software, and they're using it even sometimes like on the street. And it seems, according to this investigation by The Guardian, which is sort of the preeminent news organization in England, that on their cloud platform, which is called Azure, ICE stores a lot of information there, and it probably is storing facial. So, and I just think that I will keep doing that if I'm aware of contracts that we're approving with companies that are doing business with ICE. We can't get out of the Microsoft ecosystem. We're too entwined with it. It's not feasible, but I think it's at least worth commenting on publicly, so that's why I call it off, because it's a choice by any corporation. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you. This concludes the items to be called out. All bills for introduction are ordered published. Council members, remember that this is a consent or block vote and you'll need to vote aye. Otherwise, this is your last chance to call out an item for a separate vote. Councilmember Parity, will you please put the resolutions for adoption and the bills on final consideration for final passage on the floor?
I move that the resolutions be adopted and bills on final consideration be placed upon final consideration and be passed in a block for the following items. Council Bills number 26-0118, 0107, 0122, 0123, 0108, 1986, 0087, 0109, 0089, 0104, 0110, 0111, 0112, 0123, 0114, 0115, 0116, 0124, 0096, 0084, and 0086.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Aye.
Alderson, aye. Glenn,
Aye.
Gilmore, aye.
Yeah, Blacc, yeah,
Lewis, aye. Sheridan, aye.
she tried to knock the damn ball over.
Sawyer, aye. Cody, aye. Watson,
Aye.
Townsend, Sandoval,
Aye.
Jesse was making burritos earlier.
Madam Secretary, close the voting and announce the result.
13 ayes.
13 ayes, the resolutions have been adopted and the bills have been placed on final consideration and be passed. Tonight, there will be a required public hearing on Council 25-2020, changing the zoning classification for 2001 South Oklahoma and Overland. A required public hearing on Council Bill 26001, changing the zoning classification for 12150 East Andrews Drive in Mont Bellow, and a required public hearing on Council Bill 25-1069, changing the zoning classification for 1675 East David Avenue, 3532 North Franklin Street, 3558 North Gilpin Street in full. There are no objections from members of council. We will recess until 5:30. Before reconvening our regular meeting, City Council will provide a half-hour general public comment session to hear from the public on city matters, except for any matter that is scheduled for a legally required public hearing. The general public comment session will be under 5.
Yeah, show cloud chasing ass. You know what you there for. That
All
bitch
right, so we'll
repent.
be
I
back in
swear to
30
God.
minutes.
I swear to God, y'all. She ran from
She
me
gonna
the
talk for
first
30
night of
minutes.
Kwanzaa.
We'll talk for 30 minutes.
I could do it. She ran from me the first night of Kwanzaa. I was like, Medin, where you going? I was like, I was wait, you doing interviews? I got something to say. She just kept walking away.
Yeah.
I was like, Medin, you know you hear me.
Right.
Where you going, Medin?
Yeah.
Don't you want to talk to people about Black excellence and Kwanzaa?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first night of Kwanzaa. I mean, I got something to say about Kwanzaa. But then, why are you walking so fast?
Right. She's trying to get out of Dodge. Just talking all that shit. Then she sees in person, don't say nothing.
No, she ran. She was running. Like we got there late to the Kenora lighting, right? And she came to go pick up the little leftover shit to mob to the first night of Kwanzaa. And so we were right there. There was nobody else on the street. I was like, "Sup, Medin?" Like loud like that. Hey, Medin. Yeah. What you doing? You picking up stuff? Cool. What you up to? Like, what's cracking? Yeah. And she just ignored me and walked off. Like there was nobody on the street, so and I was loud.
Yeah, you were.
Real loud. Like I wanted her to know that I was talking to her. And then we went over to the next place, and from the time before it started, I was waiting in the elevator because I was waiting for them to get the keys and shit. Yeah. And I kept seeing her walk by. I was like, Medin!
And she kept ignoring.
Yeah, everybody turned around, look at me and shit. I'm like, Medin, where you going? You doing interviews? I got something to say. You gonna deny the community? I am the community. Right. I was being like majorly obnoxious, but I was like really, really intentionally trying to get the head word because she's disrespectful. Right. Majorly disrespectful, and big disrespect when it came to like Jessie, and the fact that she was being tokenized by a white lady, and I told her to go get her bread. I mean, she wearing a Buy Black t-shirt. Yeah. Halfway, like a third of her body out. So she giving it to the third of an individual. Yeah. Right? And she had a whole white lady sitting on her fucking Aaron's rental couch. In her house. White people won't come in my house. Right. Sit on my couch. Right. Like at all. Right. Except for that one time when there was lawyers. Disposition or some shit. Right? Yeah. That's it. That's the only reason. And they were only there for like 30, 40 minutes. If that. They had to hurry to leave. Or doctors. That's it. But she had the whole white lady sitting on the couch. And then was over there showing her ass at the that night for the mayor when they, you know, the counts of the party or whatever. They danced. The only two black motherfuckers dancing on stage. That white lady didn't give a fuck about all of them. Then she hugged all the white people and forgot about them. Yeah. So I was like, I'm tokenizing you, bitch. She put you in a whole 2 commercials. Right. Go get your money. And then she want to start tripping with me. She want to start tripping because I say, you just gonna allow this tokenizing. And, you know, to stop me when I called, I said, Eante was buck broken. Yeah. He's like, shh, let's seduction's off. I was like, but he is. Oh, punk ass, yeah. I was like, dust yourself off. You looking real buck broken right now. Hey, you want that position? Go get it. What you talk about? You right. Buck broken ass motherfucker. And he was. He was. The straight showed it. Not only that. Right? Then they have this whole. Neither of them motherfuckers could hold a job, right? So you get censored, owe money and shit, right? Yeah. This old child abusing ass bitch, right? Yeah. Right? So, clock chasing, put families through unnecessary grief, madness, right? Yeah. And then not only that, start a 501(c)(3) talk about the epitome of black excellence. Fuck out of here. Right? Fuck out of here with that shit. You need to audit off top. Right. What the fuck is so, how are you the epitome of black excellence? Right. Cloud chasing, ambulance chasing, and pretend, carrying and shit for black flight, capitalizing on black flight, death. She brought Brent Crump out here. Right. Her and that motherfucker the white civil rights attorney, right? They didn't want to talk to me either. Because I was like, hey, we got the bets. Candace Bailey. Yeah, I was like, hey, Candace. I snapped up a D in the middle of the thing. And she ignored you?
Yeah.
I was like, but then I snapped at her like a dog because she came. Here, take this motherfucking questions and go give it to that fat buck poker motherfucker over there.
Yeah.
And what did he do? Held his head down.
Yeah.
Right? I snapped at the bitch, cuz. How disrespectful is that? I was like, Medina, I snapped my fingers like in the air like this, like, bitch, come.
Yeah.
Come, bitch. You know, and she did.
Yeah.
She did in front of all the people. I said her name real loud. She knows little fat ass over there. Right? I said, what real sister got straight motherfucking hair and no motherfucking rhythm?
Right.
She never, like, no curl, cuz.
No curl.
Ever. Straight fucking hair.
That bitch ain't FBA.
Ever. Like, straight hair.
That bitch like Ethiopian or something.
So it's weird. Never in my life, cuz. Never in my life. Hot as fuck. Your hair is straight as fuck.
Yeah.
Like white people straight.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense, right?
Right.
It's raining. Your hair's still straight. Like that. Right? The Kwanzaa event, or was it Kwanzaa? That and you took my cornbread, cuz.
That was Kwanzaa.
And I was wild out.
Your luncheon.
Yeah, and I was about to wild out. Shit.
Yeah.
Don't turn my motherfucking cornbread. Now have a whole life moment.
That's when you brought the drum.
Yeah.
And you was playing.
Yeah, because they wouldn't let me play on the drums.
Yeah.
That was when Ashley took my pictures.
You got Twin and Matt cracking up.
Oh yeah, no, because they won't let me play on the drums, right? They have him there for everybody, but that's when old boy right before he died, right? Yeah. And he took a picture of me.
Yeah.
And everybody else has to pose. He was just like, just stay right there.
Yeah.
I never have to move around. You don't gotta position me.
Yeah.
You gotta position them, right? And so they have the harvest dance. And the elders over there getting down with the harvest dance. This old pajama wearing ass fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Right? Seriously, pajama pants, like Christmas trees and shit.
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt. How she look today?
Yeah.
Right? Tucked in and shit. Weird bitch, right? Like who tucks in your pajama T-shirt into pajamas at this age? You know what I mean? Like
that
that's
bitch is
weird.
a grandma too.
Right. Big ass motherfucking weird ass black empowerment earrings. Okay, cool, whatever, because you rocking the look. Right? But you ain't got no motherfucking rhythm. And how dare you judge me because I'm banging my own drum.
Yeah.
I'm drumming along. I'm having a good ass time. I'm doing black shit. And they try to stop me. Yeah, right. That ain't gonna happen. Do whatever the fuck I want. They say I can't do it. Do I do it?
What's that blue plate?
I don't know.
The one that's like
you
this.
never gave me one. I gave it back to you.
Light skinned.
I gave it back to you.
That's light skinned.
I gave it back to you, Jesse, when I handed it to you. And I asked you for another one. You said, oh, no. That's how I went down. Remember? That was earlier. That was like hours earlier. I was like, okay, cuz, whatever. Yeah, no, real shit. And I was clowning her because she didn't have no rhythm.
Yeah.
But judging me because I brought a drum and I was like, they banging on drums. I was right with them. Right with them. I'm on the way to the back. They wouldn't even let me get in front. And you allowed that to happen. Yeah, you jacked me for my cornbread.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Yeah, I was about to have a whole life moment. We was just in the... Yeah, I was like, ain't nobody taking my motherfucking cornbread.
Part two of my killing spree is gonna begin.
Every consequence of
repercussions. Fuck around with my cornbread.
My motherfucking cornbread. Like I was about to be like Eddie Murphy, like real loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, my motherfucking cornbread.
You gonna eat that cornbread? She was just
babysitting.
She was just babysitting there, yo.
No, I was taking my time because I'm a lady, right? And I was eating at a normal pace. Okay, he slammed through his shit, and then I said no. And he on camera, cause on his mother, on camera, on his mother, he took my shit right there. Like just, I said, no, I'm gonna eat that. He said, yeah, okay. And he took it on camera. And I was like, somebody get your boy, please get your boy. About to wild fuck out. Like, I said, you can't have my motherfucking cornbread, cuz. Like that, I kind of whispered it. Like that, like, I said, you can't have my motherfucking cornbread. Like, for real. He's like, get your boy, please get your boy. He just took my shit. And everybody like, ha 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 ha, laughing. Because not only did he take my shit, He made me hold the camera so he could take my shit.
I said, hold the phone.
He took it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? I just said, he's like, you just take your time. I'm a girl. And it's like a community event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They serve you a plate, like you're not supposed to be greedy, hungry mouth. You know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to eat like a motherfucking animal.
He said, seconds.
That's what he said. They said that. I didn't know if there were seconds or not. I wasn't asking. You're not supposed to be all hungry mouth and shit. But other people gotta eat, right?
Yeah.
So they give you the little mounts right on your little plate and they give you a little piece of cornbread. I was looking forward to that shit. I watched him eat it and crumble it up and eat it. He was grubbing and shit.
Yeah.
Like he had no manners, no decorum to just was eating, right?
Man, I was starving.
I was looking at him like, cuz, slow down. There's people here.
I was starving that day.
Hey, let's slow down. People here.
I'm
hungry. You gonna eat your cornbread? Yeah, motherfucker. You can't have no motherfucking cornbread. Like that, like grind my teeth like, what you talking about that? Goddamn right, I'm gonna eat my shit. When? Right now. Just give me a minute, man. Like, I'm a girl. Like, I'm a lady. Cause in public, like, I actually have manners. I was like, no, you can't eat my motherfucker. I said, no. And he said, all right. And he took it. He said, here, hold this. And took it. Just like that. Just like that. I got it, cuz. Drop it. You know what I mean? And he didn't say he was
Twin
sorry.
said facts.
He didn't ask me. He didn't go get another piece where it said seconds.
Yeah.
He went and got him another plate and just said, fuck me, and I'm holding the camera and shit. And I put it up, I propped it up against something and said, I'm gonna
I
bang
said,
my drum.
you want more food?
I was mad. Motherfucker must say, yeah, you just jacked me for my shit. And I had to control myself from having a whole Eddie Murphy moment. Because I was going to go there just like that. I was like, I said, no, you can't have my motherfucker. Yeah, I'm about to give him the whole speech. Right? And I was like,
John Butler, like, is there a problem here?
yeah. Like, control yourself. You know what I mean? And oh boy, taking pictures and shit. You're like, like you just look like a little couple, and motherfuckers hear me talking like that. Like, I said you couldn't have my motherfucker. Turn around looking like, she cussing elders.
Yeah.
Even the elders. You know what I mean? They're walking around serving plates and shit. And just the old hungry heathen and shit took my shit. And I couldn't control myself. I was like wild out. It's bad enough I do all that. I just loud and shit and do the most, right? Mm-hmm. But to have like, I said you can't have my motherfucker. No, you can't have my motherfucker cornbread. Part 2, my killing spree gonna start. Yeah. It's gonna be consequences and repercussions. Now you ain't get my shit.
Not my cornbread.
You know, with the little knife and shit.
Yeah.
He's so serious. Actually, and the way he sold it, I was like, damn, that's believable. I got beat up.
Yeah.
And he would told Marlon, see, he didn't take my cornbread. I didn't get carried in.
Yeah.
Oh boy said, Uncle E, you just sent it for me. He can have it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no. Ray's boom boom room, guys.
Yeah. Boom boom.
I was watching that right before I came over here.
Life.
Mm. So no one want to hear about Ray's boom boom room. Like, that's just great, cuz.
Down in Mississippi.
I really thought when he took that plane, he was really gonna go.
Yeah.
He put right over him.
Yeah.
They were clapping and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, because nobody was like, I'm going to see you in this motherfucking plane. Then you see this motherfucker, woo! Everyone's like,
Yeah.
I'm dead for sure.
The claw survived.
Man.
On Rose from Live.
That was a good ass movie. It still is. I was happy.
Yeah.
When he got to the fat dude, he's like, I hope not. I remember I looked at anybody could be the father of that kid.
Hey, give me my baby.
That's my baby. I'm the pappy.
I'm the pappy of that daddy's younger. I'm the daddy. He was mad about it.
He was mad about it. He was like, "There's a boy." He get all excited and shit.
Where this chocolate little nigga come from?
With all the hair and shit. I mean, he had hella hair. That is good, man. That was good. I thought for sure that they were gonna fall off the bottles.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll let you go right now. You shoot.
Yeah, I'll give you.
I'll
give you full clemency right now. If you put a bullet in this motherfucker's head, right now, you're free to go. I'll walk you right out.
He said he put his toe in the bottle.
Damn it, got my toe in the bottle.
Just saw that pot, man. He's like, how much it gonna cost to make a nigga pies?
We don't serve nigga pies.
You gotta make them right now. It was a gun.
Yeah. We don't serve niggers here.
Pie, we get along with. Look at Abrams and turn the white pie to the nigga pie. No, but that happened right now.
That was hilarious.
That part was funny. He put out the money like, shit, what's this money? The motherfucker said, fuck that.
No.
You catch this bullet.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That way when he stole that pie, when he ate that shit under the fucking window, like, you that burned my mouth.
That motherfucker was high.
He stole that money. He ran his old ass over there. Then he laughing and shit. He stuck his toe in the bottle. That was rocking back and forth. You imagine being an old ass motherfucker standing on the bottles, talking about you fall down, you get shot. I would be laughing. I would have fell down in the first 20 minutes.
Right.
Like, that damn, man. I can't believe he stole a $5 like you. See how big a handful he stuffed in his motherfucking mouth?
Turn my motherfucking tongue.
I don't know all you wanted, man. It's all your fault. We ain't friends.
It's all your fault, Bob. It's all your fault, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I would have got away with it, Ray.
I'm not going for your plans, Ray. I beat that motherfucker for the watch.
Mm-hmm. That's my daddy's watch.
My daddy's watch. I was like, damn. That was totally justifiable thing. This is so what? Mm-hmm. But in hindsight, he killed the hustler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the motherfucker took his shit and tried to pull a slip with it. All right, that's dead. I'm not sleeping. Gotta walk off.
Is what you're telling me is true?
He did.
Yes. Say yes.
I should have just left.
You go pick him up from the airport?
Mm-hmm. Shit crazy.
Wait right here. That's my daddy's watch.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see that watch.
You lied.
This looks like my daddy's watch. Oh,
that shit still played.
That, my wife got me this.
Yeah, that shit still plays the little tune.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's it. It's a wrap, man.
I know. That's the same watch she stole from him.
Mm-hmm. Because he killed that dude.
Yep.
That's crazy. Can you imagine? That's crazy shit.
Yep. Nice. No, that's it. I love that soundtrack too.
Yeah, that soundtrack is good. Oh, Bernie Mac.
Mm-hmm. Jang-a-lang, jang-a-lang.
There was a tranny dude killed himself.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Miguel's ass.
And he went over there and picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Don't worry, you worried about it."
Yeah.
He's gonna go home. He was like, "Damn." I think he could go home because he didn't want to leave Bernie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was. All right, y'all. We got 5 minutes until this general public comment session.
Yeah. I'm trying to hopefully nobody show up and waste 6 minutes of my life with that fucking crybaby shit.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get to speak, but knowing them, they're gonna drag our lives out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really sad. I'm starting to take it personal.
Right.
But I want to go to the data center thing because I've been on that shit lately.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had to do because Jesse got the channel struck. I had to do a show on my personal channel under my name, and I covered that all that shit, all the things that we don't know about because we don't know about what's really happening with the data centers. Everything, cost, harm, where they build the cities.
Max said, "Cool."
Mm-hmm. I have an educational one that I feel so proud about it because we don't know what's going on because they don't tell us intentionally.
Yeah.
So when they put one of those places up, they talk to the affluent motherfuckers around the neighborhood. They don't ask the community, and when they ask the community, they're not really asking the community; they're telling the community.
Yeah.
Right, so they hold these little town halls and like that thing, like whatever that is, like gym or whatever, right? So they, the community go look at the design and all that shit. But I'm from here, like, and little girl, I remember when this got polluted,
right?
And how many people got sick and died. All them elderly Hispanic and black people. Black people, well, certain black people, then Hispanic people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right next to the fucking dog food factory. Mm-hmm. They have a whole fucking highway going right through that neighborhood.
Denver City Council broadcast coverage begins in 1 minute.
That shit hurt.
What? What did it? I did Jesse's hair. I'm kind of proud of myself, even though he wouldn't sit still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or I grew it. I might as well do it.
Yeah.
Coverage begins in 30 seconds.
It's long now. You got twins.
Here we go.
Long as hell, family. Just had the driest motherfucking road ever.
Here we go with the Crimea River shit.
That was so funny.
Oh.
I was gonna go ask her something.
I put lotion on right now, or
Some of the illegals. Is that David? Is David there?
General public comment session of February 23rd, 2026. Tonight's session is being interpreted into Spanish. Sam or Jasmine, would you please introduce yourself and let our viewers know how to enable translation on their devices?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Guzman with the CLC, joining you virtually through Zoom, and along with my colleague Jasmine, we will be interpreting today's meeting into Spanish. Please allow me a quick minute while I give instructions in Spanish on how to access interpretation. Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Samuel Guzmán con la CLC, Juntamente con mi colega Jasmine estaremos interpretando la reunión de hoy al español. Si se une con nosotros virtualmente a través de Zoom, por favor busque en su pantalla un icono de globo que dice Interpretación. Oprima ese botón y ahí seleccione la opción para escuchar en español. Si se une con nosotros presencialmente y está ahorita presente en la cámara, por favor busque un asistente que le podrá dar audífonos para poder escuchar en español. Si se presenta hoy para dar comentario público, por favor recuerde cuando pase al frente de pausar cada momento para que se le interprete lo que diga al inglés. Muchas gracias and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sam. City Council provides a half-hour general public comment session to hear from the public on city matters, except for any matters that are scheduled to have a public hearing. To maximize time for public comment, the council will not offer comments or responses from the dais. Council members or staff may contact speakers following a comment if they raise matters that lend themselves to follow-up. All speakers should begin by stating their name. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak. For those participating in person when called upon, please come to the podium. A timer on the presentation monitor will display your remaining time. For those participating virtually when called upon, please wait until you are promoted to speaker, then accept the promotion, turn on your camera if you have one, and your microphone, and you'll see your timer on your screen counting down. Please refrain from profane or obscene speech, direct your comments to council as a whole, and refrain from individual or personal attacks, including disparaging other speaker motives.
Madam President, the audience is saying they're having trouble hearing. I'm going to do it. If you can turn things up a bit.
Oh, Lord, the whole chamber's up with Legos.
Okay. I'll try to speak up a little bit higher.
I don't know where they at.
Due to room capacity and the compliance with fire code maximum occupancy requirements, we respectfully request that after you have delivered your remarks, please leave the room in order to allow more participants to enter.
Here we go.
First up, we have David Weinzer.
Go home.
David?
Go home. Oh, this is a cracker.
Yeah, just took all the fun out.
Thank you. My name is David Minster. I am here to talk about Vision Zero and the simplest way to save lives on our streets, speed boats, or more specifically, speed tables. Last year, County commissioned the East Avenue Safety Study to reduce speeding crashes and deaths on 13, 14, and 17 avenues through Capitol Hill and Congress Park. The study found that Dottie's usual tools such as white plastic boots and signal retiming would be inadequate to reduce speeding crashes on these dangerous streets. In order to make these streets truly safe, the study recommended speed tables every 4 blocks. These 10-volt broad pumps are designed to prevent excessive speeding over the 30 miles an hour limit. According to the study, this intervention would prevent on average 2.6 deaths, 117 injury crashes, and 335 property damage crashes every 5 years. In other words, not doing this will cost lives and money. Last week, we heard Dottie tell the Transportation Committee that Vision Zero is their guiding light. So what was their response to this study? We don't install speed cushions on high-speed streets. This policy isn't some traffic engineering law nature. It is a dogma that prioritizes speeding traffic over safety and people's lives. As pointed out in the study, other cities have installed speed tables on high-volume, high-speed arterials and successfully reduced speeding. Another concern is that speed tables would slow emergency response vehicles. Fortunately, when it comes to 13, 14, and 17, fire trucks and ambulances will soon be able to bypass traffic by using the new BRT lanes. According to the safety study, installing speed tables every 4 blocks in these streets would cost $800,000. As a comparison, Dottie often spends upwards of $700,000 on a single traffic light install. Last week, my news reported that the street with the most speed trap tickets is at 17th Avenue between Fillmore and Jefferson by East High School. Let's use some of the ticket revenue from this stretch to build out the East Avenue study recommendations. Rather than finding drivers who speed on a road that encourages speeding, let's fix the road to prevent speeding to begin with. In the years since the study was published, there have been 582 crashes, 145 injuries, 27 incapacitating injuries, and 1 death on 13, 14, and 17. How many more years do we have to wait for means to change? My 2 daughters walk to Moraine Middle School at 13 hours, and every day they have to avoid these speeding cars. We are begging you to act. I know Denver is a strong leader town, and city council feels it doesn't have much power over these things. However, petition against it, but will follow the recommendations of the public safety studies we need City Council back. Pass a bill that requires Dottie to implement all East Avenue safety recommendations. Mandate that Dottie install speed tables on all high injury arterial streets when they are resurfaced. They are the mayor to veto these life-saving measures. Require that automated speed enforcement measures be used to fix the streets where the most dangerous speed occurs. Vote against any budget that does not fund these relatively affordable safety measures. Mayor speaks on vibrant and safe Denver to start with the Denver Olympics across the street.
Next up, we have Whitney Smith.
Whitney Smith.
Hi. So I'm a line access writer. And I feel like they should stay. The line access program helps me a lot with going to the hospital if I ever need to. I have a walker, but sometimes I use it and other times I use Lime. I've been able to pick up my kids. I've been able to go to, because I live close to a Safeway. And so the Lime access rides are free under 30 minutes. And so within that time frame, I can get to the Safeway, get off, and then get another ride back home. And I live about 2 blocks away from the hospital. And I've had to go there for myself, for my children. One time my son actually got had an allergic reaction at school, and I had to take a line to him at in the emergency room because he was allergic to nuts. And he was at school, I was at home. I had to meet him there. And so it was very useful for the line to be like right outside my house. Sometimes they're right there and I don't have to walk that far. Sometimes my kids are sick and I have to like go to a 7-Eleven or Walgreens to get medicine for them. I can't always get rides for my family members. And so that program really, really helps me at the toughest of times. So I feel like it will be very beneficial for not only myself, but others to still have that program. I think that's all I've got to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate hearing from you. Next up, we have Dustin Wilburn.
My name is Dustin. I first heard about Lyme 3 different resources. One being my doctor's itinerary, another being and the last one through a case manager with one of my outreach source researchers. The first time I unlocked one was right it felt so much, just right across town, but it wasn't. It meant I could get to work on time without stressing about my schedules. It meant I could make counseling/medical appointments without asking for a ride, or those legal appointments that don't wait for excuses. It meant freedom without a huge cost. What started as a backup plan became a bridge that kept my routine, my job, and my peace of mind intact. Lyme access didn't just help me get from point A to point B, it helps me stay consistent, and consistency changes everything. Programs like Lyme access are important because they level the playing field. Not everyone has reliable transportation, extra money, or support. Having affordable mobility gives people a real chance to show up for work, for family, for recovery, for opportunity. When you can move freely, you can move forward. And that's just one of the reasons to keep the program, because sometimes the scooter isn't just a scooter, it's stability. And one of the areas we need to live a better life. That's why I'm asking the city to keep on. Thank you.
Next up, we have Rachel Rigby.
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Rachel, and I'm a longtime resident of Capitol in Denver. And thank you to the council for your efforts in making Denver a progressive and climate-forward city with efforts such as the Denver Climate Project, green workforce grants, and greener by default policy making plant first always a default for communities. I'm a UI UX designer for animal equality and a volunteer for Plant Based Street. I'm also a vegan and passionate about animals, ending animal cruelty, and regenerating the environment for a better future for everyone. The Plant-Based Treaty is a global grassroots initiative that brings food systems into the climate crisis conversation. Sustainable food systems are inclusive, resilient, safe, diverse, and provide healthy and affordable food to all people in a human rights-based framework that minimizes waste of resources like water and land use, and conserves biodiversity while mitigating impacts of climate change. Plant-based diets are estimated to have 75% less greenhouse gas emissions and reduce an individual's water footprint by 50%. A whole foods plant-based diet has been shown to prevent, treat, and in many cases reverse chronic disease, including heart disease, diabetes, and many cancers. Leading physicians and researchers have demonstrated that a plant-based diet can lower cholesterol as effectively as medication, improve insulin sensitivity, and significantly reduce cardiovascular risk. Research also shows that plant-based eating delivers real economic benefits for households and governments, cutting food costs by up to 1/3. Reducing reliance on animal agriculture globally would allow us to produce enough additional food to feed hundreds of millions of people. I ask that you join 67 cities globally, including 6 U.S. cities like Los Angeles, Cambridge, West Hollywood, and Culver City that have already endorsed the Plant-Based Treaty and implement changes such as adding language to the Do More, Do Less, Do Something campaign, highlighting the health, economic, and environmental impact of choosing plant-based food, and extend plant-based by default policy to public events by including language such as this approach suggesting this approach to vendor event materials. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next up, we have Salinas T.
Buenas tardes, concejal.
We go with the bullshit.
Vengo de la parte de la organización de Familias Unidas en Necesidad.
I come on behalf of an organization, United Families in Need.
Vengo de parte de toda la familia a pedirles
I come on behalf of all of the families to ask you.
Es primera vez que tengo una necesidad. Tuve una operación por parto de cesárea. Tengo muchas necesidades. Mi hijo lo van a operar ahorita el 9 de marzo.
This is the first time I've been in need. I had permítame un momento para interpretarle, por favor. Gracias. This is the first time I find myself in need. This is the result of having a surgery due to having a C-section, and my son is also expected to have surgery coming up in March.
Y quisiera pedirle un espacio en el no tenemos mucho trabajo, tenemos, o sea, la necesidad de querer pedir ayuda, no lo estamos haciendo porque no tenemos la obligación de trabajar y hacer tantas cosas. Es necesario para el ser humano, pero sí necesitamos colaborar.
We're asking for help with finding a space or a refuge, some sort of shelter. There isn't currently much work opportunities for us, and so we are asking not because we want to, but because we have a need to ask for this sort of help, since this is a basic human need. Adelante.
Y, cónchale, de verdad le pedimos el favor. No es primera vez que estamos haciendo estas cosas, yo, mi familia, pero es porque estamos en necesidad, no es porque lo queramos hacer, ni porque no queramos trabajar, sino que la operación y mi esposo tiene que estar pendiente de mí, tiene que ayudarme y está de un lado para otro.
So I'm here to ask you for a favor. This is the first time that myself or my family have to do this, but we're really doing it not because we want to, but because we are in need. You know, we can't work a lot, and because of my surgery, my husband has been needing to take care of me and to help me a lot.
De verdad, gracias a la señorita que está aquí presente. Hoy recién agarró un fondo y nos pagó una semana de habitación, nos ha ayudado con los humanos porque la verdad estamos en una situación crítica y el refugio del frío dura muy poco abierto, unos días sí, unos días no. Entonces, ¿cómo buscamos la solución? Yo durmiendo como una niña de un mes de nacida en un banco.
And so I want to say thank you to Miss V, who is present here, who helped us to get funds and helped pay for 2 weeks of a place to stay. The cold weather shelter is only open a few days, and so it's a really difficult situation. We were in a dire situation, especially with my 1-month-old. It's not realistic.
We got to hear when we was in a dire situation.
Bueno, esa es la petición que le queríamos hacer. Muchas gracias por su atención y que Dios lo bendiga.
So that's the ask. Thank you so much for your attention, and may God bless you.
Yeah, whatever, bitch. Go home.
Next up, we have Kimberless N.
Oh, we got to hear all this illegal shit. God.
Buenas tardes, me presento ante ustedes para pedirle el favor de que me ayuden para un refugio. Estaba en una vecina, pero me quedé sin.
Good evening. I am here presenting myself to ask for a favor of your support with refuge or with shelter. I was in housing previously.
Estaba viviendo, pero me he quedado sin empleo. Tengo una niña y estoy en situación de calle. Para ver qué posibilidades de que me ayuden a pagar el arriendo, no debo mucho y tengo corte el miércoles y con un refugio.
So I had housing, but then I lost my job, and I have my daughter with me. We're both on the street, and so I'm asking for your support to pay for rent, possibly. I have court coming up soon as well.
Huh.
La verdad, he buscado empleo en cualquier lugar, solo me dice aplique en línea y cuando hago la aplicación no sigo esperando por la línea que me responda.
Family.
I look for a lot of different jobs, and they tell me to apply online. I submit my application, and then I just end up waiting and don't hear back.
Yeah, because you're illegal, bitch.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay. Irma S.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Irma Suárez. Es primera vez que tengo de parte de la organización Familias en Necesidad.
Good evening. My name is Irma Suarez. This is my first time over here, and I'm here on behalf of the United Families in Need. Here with Ms. V.
Fuck this B.
En esta tarde yo les vengo a pedir el favor de que apoyen a la señorita B para que ella nos pueda apoyar a nosotros, porque la verdad yo voy a contar mi testimonio personal. Hace 3 semanas, era un sábado, yo no tenía dónde ir, ya iban a ser las 4 de la tarde, y yo decía, ¿dónde voy a ir a dormir con mis hijos? No tenía dónde sacar dinero.
This evening, I'm here to ask for the favor of supporting Ms. V so that she can in turn support us. I'm here to share my personal testimony. It was 3 weeks ago on a Saturday. It was 4 o'clock, and I had no idea where I was going to go.
No tenía dinero. Actualmente estoy pasando también otra situación que tengo un niño que no está yendo a la escuela por lo mismo, porque no tengo un domicilio, no tengo un refugio, por decirlo así, estable. Me están pidiendo una, ¿cómo se dice? De domicilio para que lo puedan inscribir y no, todavía no esté yendo a clases. Ya tiene como 2 meses.
I had no money, and I found myself in another situation as well, where I have a child that's been out of school due to not having a stable address or a stable housing situation. That's what they're asking me in order to enroll. And so now he's been out of school for 2 months because of this.
Con esto también quiero pedirles que no es una situación de
como decirlo así, la gente vea que los mantengan, sino un apoyo de una vivienda. Ya después, no sé si se puede hacer ¿cómo se dice? De una puerta como de empleo, sería mucho mejor, pero a veces uno, si le sale un empleo, no lo puede tomar porque quién sabe dónde va a ir a pasar la noche. Y luego todo eso es un problema. Entonces,
we want to ask, or we want to clarify that it's not asking, for you all to completely maintain us financially. Helping us to get a job or to find work would be good as well, but we can't accept work because we don't know where we're spending that night.
You're not even a fucking citizen.
Solamente eso que quisiera pedir, que si había la posibilidad de que apoyen a la señorita Ríos y su organización para que ella pueda seguir bendiciendo, porque la verdad ella para nosotros es una bendición. Bueno, al menos para mí, en mi situación que estuve ese día fue como un ángel y lo sigue siendo porque todavía sigo aquí junto a ella y le doy muchas gracias a Dios por eso.
So I'm here asking for support for Ms. Lee so that she can continue blessing us, because that's what she has been doing. I consider her a huge blessing, and especially in that time where I found myself in that difficult situation, she was like an angel for me.
Es todo lo que tengo que decir en esta tarde y que Dios los bendiga y les dé mucha sabiduría para que puedan tomar una buena decisión. Gracias.
That's all I have to say this evening, so thank you so much, and I hope that God will give you a lot of wisdom so that you can make a good decision.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you. So next up we have Mary Orange.
My name is Timothy Copley. Mary is my adopted mom. She wasn't able to join us tonight, unfortunately. So I'm here to speak on her behalf in English.
Okay.
I have 2 kids out here. We've been out here for 3 months trying to figure out what we're going to do. We got in contact with the program, and they've been a great blessing for us, helped us through a lot. My kids are both autistic, and it's very hard for them to understand what's going on right now. They don't know what, they just think they just go to another hotel room every night. We can't. It's hard for me and my wife to tell them we can't do that tonight. Sleeping in the car with kids with autism isn't a good idea. And I just feel like it's kind of time for some sort of change to come through. These kids are everything to us. We just can't keep doing this. And I'm here to ask you guys to help with shelter and for families, especially kids with autism. There's not a lot of programs out there. We look for hotels that will help us out. Family members turn us away. Just because our families, it's just too much to have 2 autistic kids, and then most of my family has issues with their kids. Just kind of runs in our families, and it just kind of hurts. It really does hurt to see my kids sitting out here on the street. I first been on the street when I was 14. My son is 5, my daughter is 3. They shouldn't be seeing this life. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Next up we have Tommy Stephens.
Oh shit, man.
Hello, my name is Tommy Stevens. Been living in Denver now for about 1.5 years. I did come here homeless and had to start over. I'm here to speak on behalf of Lyme Access and the underprivileged in our community. As a member of the underprivileged community, Lyme Access was instrumental in helping me to regain some sense of agency, to be able to get to work. Oftentimes the RTD, especially out towards like Commerce City and the Amazon facility, it's not always accessible, especially for the late night shifts and stuff like that. So with that, I was able to, with Lyme, I was able to get out there, and at times when the RTD just wasn't running or accessible, it's not very friendly for pedestrians out in that area. So I was able to get to work and to better situate myself to start to get on my feet again. And now I'm able to hold a job in the community, working with others who are in my situation. That was always my intention, was to give back. Lyme Access allows people to get around who otherwise wouldn't. With the commute times, even with RTD, sometimes if they're able to use the Lymes, they're able to avoid, spending an hour or 2 added to their commutes to work. They're able to get home. They're able to get to hospitals. These are things that I've been able to do. I had the flu during last winter, and I was able to get myself to the hospital using Lyme. I've greatly benefited from the Lyme Access Program. It serves the poor here, and I just wonder what would happen in the lapse of that program. If these folks did not have that, you would have a fairly large population that would be disadvantaged, that would not be able to get around. There's a lot of us downtown who rely on Lyme Access for work and just for our everyday getting groceries, all that stuff is so useful to us. So I'd like y'all to consider that going forward with whatever decisions that you make about that. This is allowing us to, avoid using the car. It's environmentally friendly. It's community friendly. We still got a gang of people ahead of us. Fucking so Brian Long is ahead of that as well, just that how positive it is, especially with I'm 25 incidents and things like that have been happening. It's an opportunity for people to use an alternate mode of transportation, and it serves the underprivileged class. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up we have Emma Harper.
Hi, my name is Emma Harper, and I'm here to speak about Lyme Access as well. As you heard from the first Lyme Access, it's been instrumental in helping me improve my life and my economic standing. 3 years ago, I was really didn't have a lot to my name, but I was able to get into a program at the Emily Griffith Technical School, and that's how I've been able to go to classes. And it's just really helped me improve my life. I'm now pursuing a bachelor's in early childhood education, and just giving underprivileged people with low access and autonomy to be able to go to school, go to their job, in a way that's accessible. It's also much easier than a traditional bicycle. It's really common for bicycles. And I don't have to worry about that with Lyme Access, that it's everywhere, it's accessible, it helps me get food, it helps me with college, it helps me with education, and contribute to society more as I'm working to be a preschool teacher. It's also really good for the environment. Our car culture in the States is not sustainable. It's not safe. It's a huge cause of death for pedestrians and cyclists, and we need to start to shift the culture to more like Lyme Access and bicycling and pedestrian safety. So please use Lyme Access. It's been really a game changer. I've been super grateful to Denver. It's allowed me to improve my life, but otherwise I wouldn't have had access to these things.
Thank you, Emma. Next up, we have Jason Keller.
Talking about a divine
Jason?
like myself that could do all
Next up, we have
self-taught.
Edie Labrook.
No, not no motherfucker wicked pagan somebody.
Hello everyone. I was first introduced to Lyme Access after COVID. Ever since, it has been my primary means of transportation for work, school, and to run errands as well. It's also supported my mental well-being. On weekends, I use it, to reduce stress in just rides around the city. And I have many individuals who rely, on this program for transportation, as well as others who benefit from the positive outlet for their mental well-being. I would like also to salute the United Families in Need. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Colby Campbell.
There go Brian.
Hi, I'm Lyme Access user too. I found Lyme Access about a year ago. The program helped me get to work in the early morning hours when the bus no longer runs. And keeps me out of the cold usually. And actually helped me the most because I think of me often, and it allowed me to spend more time with her in the hospital while she was alive without worrying about having to get out of the hospital. The best home company, but also is alienating all the users that are currently using it. And I'm already on the edge of the coverage of that, like just barely getting in. But it helps so much just to know that it's taken care of. I don't have to worry about taking the bus that's going to take me an hour and a half home when I can get there in 15 minutes on the way back.
Never adjusted nothing.
Yeah. Plus, the guy acting like a.
Miles? Next up, we have
No,
Tatiana
that wasn't him. No,
Tatiana?
that's fucking V.
Next up,
Anna.
we have Tiffany Hernandez.
She's the one that said she wanted to ban us.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am one of your local bartenders. I brought a couple bartenders with me as well. They're outside. I was hoping that they could come in here with us. But we have been, I created a training program called That's What He Does, where I bring trainings to bars and restaurants. And we teach them how to prepare for business from federal agents. We dedicated our lives to serving our community, this profession, and we want to express our concerns about the areas of our constitutional rights, the Constitution.
You don't have no constitutional rights,
to make sure that we would be prepared and handle what to expect, but these tactics that they keep using are changing every day, and we're dealing with with that. One congregation is able to identify these agents immediately.
They have a job to do.
Our lack of accountability with these road agents is very apparent. I want to make sure that we pass laws within Denver to make sure that while it seems like bartenders are the first level of defense within a bar or restaurant, we can feel safer knowing who's walking in our doors. The city has an obligation to protect the people and citizens within the city limits, and we can try to make sure that we ban federal agents from hiding their money as well. Because if in the event of the government in my bar and I have to face, a masked individual with an 47, 15 of them, and it's me or my patron, I'm going to make sure that it's me trying out and facing people, and we've already been seeing that they are, killing citizens when if someone ever comes and we're doing this, I'm not sure people know who it was that, killed me. But we will need to consider that we are doing everything from a bargaining perspective to protect our community. Could you just give us something up to do that?
Yeah, your time's up.
Thank you.
Good, bitch.
That concludes our general public comment session. If we did not get to you today, please join us at our next session or submit your comments in writing. The next session will be held on Monday, March 2nd. Sign up begins at 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 26th. We look forward to hearing from you again, and thank you so much for attending.
Yeah, shut the damn chambers, get to the business.
Council will now reconvene from our early session. As a reminder, there are 2 proclamations read prior to the 3 public hearings, as well as many individual sign-up at the public hearings. With this and the room's capacity in mind, we request that attendees who are here for the hearing on Council Bill 1069, changing the zoning classification for 1665 East 35th Avenue and 3532 North Franklin Street and 3550 North Gilpin Street in full, which is the 3rd hearing of the evening. Please be seated in the overflow room on the 4th floor until the proclamations have concluded. I'll just give us a minute to transition for a minute and let the receivers of the proclamation come on in.
Yeah, what's the AMI level? What's the surface study?
What's this actually entail?
Yeah.
Why it wasn't clear.
How's this benefit the community?
Right.
How's this a benefit?
Be acting like she was a full agent. But reality, she gets sick, she was bringing in some action network, and she ain't getting incentivized. She can't go tokenize yourself. yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, is
And
it?
you're tokenizing me because she don't want to speak Spanish. That's why. Why'd they say that? Why she let herself get tokenized like that?
Because she's a stupid bitch.
Oh, dumbass, weird ass bitch. Like, for real, you do it because you feel kind.
Yeah.
You do it because you get money for it. And they're like, please let her help her so she can continue to bless us. Fuck all that, cuz that bitch had her kid out of school for 2 months.
Can you see that picture? Let's break it out to you.
Like, for real.
They got us right after they
Like, bless the bitch.
Yeah.
And I had a kid out of school for 2 months. 2 months? That means I'm not housing or educating my child.
I'm just giving a minute for the transition for the
That's neglect.
people who are here for the proclamation so that they could be inside the
That's what they
chambers.
told me. That's reckless endangerment. Child endangerment.
Child neglect.
Child neglect. I know how the kid go to school being illegal environment. You can't enroll them. Like, come on now.
She's about to find some stuff she did.
Councilmember Watson, we're just waiting to make sure Councilmember Lewis,
You wouldn't even have this
her proclamation goes first. So we're just making sure her people are inside the
Get on the phone. They're begging for nothing. 3 racks. I'll take the 3 racks. Would you take 3,000 and self-support versus sitting there crying and begging? Please help me. She's an angel. No, cuz she ain't no angel. That bitch is a tokenized prostitute.
Right.
They work for a fucking 501(c)(3). They get money to do that.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who's not here for the proclamations, if you could give us your seats just for the first proclamation, and then you could rotate people out, it would be much appreciated. We have the overflow room that's open on the 4th floor next to the city council chambers.
Definitely a face palm.
But we have a couple people who are accepting the proclamation in the back who don't have a place to sit, and they won't be allowed in the room because of our occupancy requirements from the fire marshal.
They do it because they get a bag.
I appreciate everybody helping to during this time of the council chambers under reconstruction.
Ask me. Prime examples.
Yeah.
They're working that brown like a
Right.
slave.
Do you have everyone here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
She get paid to do
Okay.
that. She's an angel.
I think we have 3 more chairs open that I can see.
She's doing it for a bag. Little as it be or not. We don't know. None of our business. They get incentives.
Do we need 3 more people? I think we have 3 more chairs. Or 4? Yeah.
It's just Jesse. Gonna provide the negatives and then give the shame up for the fucking quasi-black history.
And if there's any city staff who aren't here for the proclamations, if you could just wait outside while we get the proclamations done, that'd be great.
Allowing motherfucking tokenization.
We're not starting official city business yet. We're still with the proclamations.
Right.
Okay. We all settled? All right.
You know,
There's no unfinished business from the earlier sessions. There are 2 proclamations being read this evening. Councilmember Lewis, would you please read proclamation 0202?
Yes, thank you. Uplifting Black History Month and the unwavering fight for freedom and justice. Whereas the United States was built on the backs of those stolen from their lands, forcibly enslaved, and subjected to unimaginable brutality. Their labor and sacrifices shaping the foundations of this nation, yet their contributions have too often been minimized or erased from the narrative of American greatness. And whereas Black History Month has its origins in the celebration of Negro History Week, first observed in 1926 to honor the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. It was advanced by the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, founded in 1915 by historian Carter G. Woodson and Minister Jesse E. Moreland, to acknowledge the enduring contributions of Black individuals to American history in a time when the country was actively attempting to erase their contributions.
And whereas over time, the observance of Negro History Week evolved into Black History Month, initially celebrated as a week-long event by mayors across the nation that honored the enduring legacy of Black history, and later expanded in the late 1960s amid the rising momentum of the Civil Rights Movement and increasing awareness of Black identity into a full month-long observance, officially designated by President Ford in 1976 and embraced by every subsequent administration. While recognizing that the true Black history is not confined to a single month, but is a daily legacy woven into the fabric of this nation and integral to understanding its present and future. And whereas Black Americans have made unparalleled contributions to every field, from pioneering advancements in science and medicine by figures such as George Washington Carver and Dr. Mae Jemison, to shaping music, literature, and art through the works of artists like Winston Hughes, Nina Simone, and John Coltrane, who have defined cultural movements and inspired the world. And whereas Black American leaders from Harriet Tubman to Frederick Douglass, from Malcolm X to Angela Davis, have relentlessly fought for freedom, justice, and equality, laying the groundwork for future generations to continue the battle for civil rights and human dignity. And whereas Black History Month serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle of racial justice and equality, a call to action against the erasure of this history, culture, and contributions of Black Americans, and a steadfast demand for a world where all people, regardless of race, have the freedom, opportunity, and respect they deserve. And whereas at the federal level, there is a disturbing movement to erase the acknowledgement of Black history as a month worthy of recognition.
That's a lie.
Further seeking to undermine the collective understanding of our nation's legacy, struggles, and progress towards justice. And whereas uplifting Black History Month is not only about celebrating the past, but also about creating a future that acknowledges the pain and triumphs of Black Americans, one that recognizes that the fight for justice is far from over and must continue in the face of continued efforts to dismantle DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools, our workplaces, and communities. And whereas the history of Black people in Denver, Colorado stands as a testament to resilience, ingenuity, and civic leadership as they have from the city's earliest days to its modern era, overcome systemic adversity and discrimination to build vibrant, economically robust, and culturally rich communities that have laid the foundation for Denver's diverse identity. And whereas this enduring legacy is exemplified by pioneering figures whose remarkable contributions have profoundly shaped the community. Barney L. Ford, whose entrepreneurial spirit and civic rights advocacy earned him a title, Black Baron of Colorado. Justina Ford, Colorado's first licensed Black woman doctor, who surmounted racial and gender barriers to deliver thousands of babies and provide critical health care to marginalized populations. Ruth Denny, a dedicated educator and civil rights activist who champions equitable policies in education and employment, and Eldon R. Caldwell Sr., the first person elected to Denver City Council whose leadership in economic justice, housing reform, and desegregation has left an undeniable mark on the city, each of whom continues to inspire future generations through their steadfast commitment to progress and justice. And whereas the Denver City Council recognizes the enduring legacy of systemic racism, discrimination, and marginalization and the exploitation of Black culture and labor, as well as the harmful influence of the Ku Klux Klan in shaping discriminatory policies that continue to affect the city today. And whereas the Denver City Council recognizes the enduring legacy of systemic racism, discrimination, and marginalization. Oh, that's repeated twice. Sorry, folks. And whereas the Denver City Council proudly honors the vibrant history and resilience of Black communities exemplified in historic neighborhoods like 5 Points, often called the Harlem of the West, where in the face of segregation and redlining, Black residents forged self-sustaining communities of businesses, churches, and cultural institutions, and where institutions like the Blair Caldwell African American Research Library preserve this enduring legacy. And whereas the City and County of Denver, as a progressive and diverse community, stands in resistance to any efforts to erase Black history and is committed to amplifying the voices, achievements, and contributions of Black Americans today and every day, while fostering an environment that supports unity, justice, and the ongoing fight for racial equity. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Denver City Council that the Denver City Council formally recognizes February 2026 as Black History Month in the City and County of Denver and calls upon all residents to honor Black history, not just during this month, but every day. As a fundamental part of American history and identity, we encourage all to stand in solidarity with the fight for racial justice, to resist the erasure of Black history, and to support initiatives that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion for all. Section 2, that the Denver City Council encourages all Denver residents to engage with and celebrate Black history by visiting institutions such as the Blair Caldwell African American Research Library, exploring the historic Five Points neighborhood, as well as supporting local Black-owned businesses and cultural events. In doing so, our community reaffirms its commitment to preserving and promoting the invaluable heritage of Black Denverites and ensuring that their stories of struggle, triumph, and innovation are passed into future generations. Section 3, that the clerk and recorder of the City and County of Denver shall affix a seal of the City and County of Denver to this property and transmit a copy to Denver African American Commission on behalf of the Black community with the understanding that Black folks are not among them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Look, everybody's clapping. Beth McCann is there.
Councilmember Lewis, your motion to adopt.
Fuck him.
Moved too early, sorry. I move that proclamation number 260202 be adopted.
It has been moved and seconded. Comments by members of council? Councilmember Lewis?
Yes. Thank you. So over the weekend, I put out a video and I asked the Black community to show up in chambers. And typically we give the proclamation to an individual or to a commission or to a number of folks, but I just wanted to give a proclamation to the Black community for the beautiful contributions that you all give every single day. For just simply waking up in a world that does not always love you, that doesn't always accept you, and oftentimes gives you a hard time. And so I am so grateful for all the folks who have shown up to, one, celebrate this proclamation, but celebrate yourselves for the beauty and for the resilience that you all continue to provide, even when things get difficult, and the beautiful things that we tend to create when people are intentionally making things difficult for us as Black folks, from music to style to culture to food to music. We're great at it, so I just wanted to say thank you all who have shown up in these chambers to celebrate the diaspora of Blackness that exists in this community. Thank you.
Y'all was want to arrest us.
I don't see Blackness for real. There's actual Blackness in this room.
Right.
Look.
Councilmember Alvidrez?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilwoman, for bringing and putting together such a beautifully written and thoughtful proclamation. It's really inspiring and the perfect way to end Black History Month. I think we've done so much over the month, including recognizing things that are not as great. But the truth is we need to focus on the beauty and the beautiful things that the Black community brings. And so I just want to thank you all also for making time to be here and being a part of our city for, in the past and into the future, and looking forward to doing more collaboration. And I'll say, I feel like on my time on council, I've learned from Councilwoman Lewis's leadership as well about the interconnectedness of all of our challenges. And so I just want to thank you. I commend you for that.
Exactly.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you so much, Councilmember Lewis, for sponsoring this proclamation. To all Black folks in this room, I want to say, Black History Month is just, as we always say, it's just these 28, 29 days, February. But for us, it's every day. in every way. That we show up in this community, as we show up in our communities and elevating our stories, elevating our lives, not accepting second class citizenship today, yesterday, or anytime in the future is important. These proclamations aren't just simply words on paper. These are documenting the fact that we matter and that we've made a difference in this community that we love. So for each of you being in this audience, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for demonstrating who we are to the communities where you live. And to those who are learning throughout the last 28, 29 days about Black History Month, continue your own research. It's not our job to give education, but it's our job to live in the legacy of our elders and stand on their shoulders. Thank you so much. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Just want to say the name of the proclamation again, uplifting Black History Month and the unwavering fight for freedom and justice. I think that applies to all of us in today's society. I know it applies to me and the work that I'm doing in this very diverse council that you see before you all. It's not easy to be some of the leaders in Denver, but it's an honor to work on behalf of all of you. So thank you, Councilwoman Lewis. It really was a beautiful, moving, and very powerful proclamation. Really appreciate that. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Co-opter.
Council members,
Aye.
Sawyer. Aye.
Cause that's so gross.
Almeida.
I feel dirty.
Quinn.
I feel dirty. Like that's so dirty.
Gilmore.
Man, cause I wish you started me. They hit with the hard question.
Cashman.
Like, during Black History Month, the curiosity.
Aye. Romero Campbell. Aye. Aye. Watson. Madam Secretary, close the voting and announce results. 11 ayes. 11 ayes. Proclamation 2602 has been adopted. We now have time for the proclamation acceptance. Well, I am invited of the entire Black community. More specifically, we have the Denver African American Commission. I know you all wanted to say a few words, but I genuinely want all the Black folks in this room to stand behind the podium because I have a bunch of proclamations for each one of you to take home with you tonight, as well as Carol, who will also be speaking.
Where's our proclamation? Where the hell's our proclamation now?
The coalition get behind me first.
Look right now.
Damn raccoons.
Oh, fucking lying ass bitch. Where's ours? That's where you always too.
Right. We owed another proclamation. That's two proclamations.
When I was writing this, I did not have this backdrop in mind. This was, I think it was a lot more powerful right now. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Council President and members of the Council. My name is Justin Toomer. I'm co-chair of the Denver African American Commission.
And I'm Karen Grissom, co-chair of the Denver African American Commission.
And on behalf of our commission, I want to first extend our deepest gratitude to Councilman Lewis for your leadership, your unwavering work for justice for the community, and also for your invitation to bring our voices and help for our voices in this space and bring that very powerful proclamation forward. What we heard this evening was a history lesson and a mandate that we look backwards to truly see the blueprint for the work that we're doing today. Our commission is dedicated and proud to be part of the unwavering efforts to ensure our community is empowered through policy and equity
where the policy is. Where the policy
we invite all of you to join us this Friday at 5:30, 7:30 at the Southern Love Foundation on our East. We're looking forward to celebrating our Black History Month celebration as we honor our past and truly find ways to invest in our future. So we thank you for recognizing the work that we do every day of the year, and we're excited to celebrate you. Yes, to celebrate with you. Yes. This Friday, as we really kick off the way we want to continue to invest in our community throughout and every day. So thank you.
Gary Jackson's there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gerald Carter. I am a community organizer, senior in high school, and a proud Denverite. Thank you, Councilwoman Lewis, for sponsoring this proclamation and for standing boldly with Black communities across Denver. As Asada Shakur once said,
It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. Black History Month is not just about celebration. It is also a call to action. It is a reminder that progress has never come from comfort. It has come from courage, from organizing, and from demanding more.
That's right, Caleb.
Black history is resistance. Black history is innovation. Black history is powerful, and honoring it means committing to dismantling inequities that still impact our neighborhoods, our schools, our housing, and our justice system. So may this proclamation reflect not only where we've been, but the future we are building. We are a future rooted in equity, accountability, and collective liberation. Thank you so much.
What the hell's our reparations, goddammit? That is the basics.
No, that's not the basics. That's the basics. Why were we included? They're talking about equity inclusion.
We'll take a picture later, but I'll wait for the second proclamation.
Start right there first. We're talking about that.
Councilmember Watson, would you please read Proclamation 0198?
Yes, Council President. Proclamation number 260198, honoring the life and legacy of Norman Strickland Early Jr. Whereas Norman Strickland Early Jr. was born on November 14th, 1945, in the District of Columbia to Norman Strickland Early Sr. and Gloria Robinson Jackson. And whereas he attended school in Washington, D.C., at Paul Junior High and Calvin Coolidge High School, graduating in 1963. And whereas Norm distinguished himself as both a scholar and a gifted athlete, becoming a top recruit in track and field. And whereas, after graduating high school, he attended American University, where he received his bachelor's degree and developed his passion for politics with his election as president of the sophomore class, vice president of the Student Association, and was the first elected Black president of the AU Student Government in 1966 through 1977. And whereas, after graduating from AU, Norm earned a law degree from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign College of Law, where he received a fellowship that provided him the opportunity to assist under-resourced communities in Denver. And whereas he was admitted to the Colorado Bar in 1970 and continued to pursue his interest in politics, becoming the Colorado delegate for Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for president. All right. And whereas Norm joined, all right, I'll do it. And whereas Norm joined the Denver District Attorney's Office in 1973 as a deputy under DA Dale Tooley, eventually becoming a chief deputy. And whereas he distinguished himself as a highly skilled trial attorney with a keen sense of fairness and justice. And whereas in 1983, Governor Richard D. Lamb appointed Norm as director of Denver District Attorney, the position he held in 1993 after winning consecutive elections in 1984, 88, and 1992 by wide margins. And whereas his leadership style resulted in many of his staff members ascending to the city, state, and national positions. And whereas during his career, he helped establish numerous organizations, including the National Organization of Victims' Assistance, where he served as president and continued fighting on behalf of victims' rights. His record of accomplishments was so significant that the Colorado Organization for Victim Assistance named their highest honor the Norm Early Exemplary Leadership Award. And whereas Norm was the co-founder of two premier organizations delighted to helping ensure the success of Black lawyers within the legal profession and served as the president of the National Black Prosecutors Association. And whereas as a father, brother, grandfather, and father-in-law, he treasured time with his family and friends. And whereas decades later, the impact of Norm's efforts as a public figure and family member continued to leave an indelible impression on the lives of all those with whom he interacted. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Denver City Council, Section 1, that Denver City Council recognizes and honors the tremendous service, the lasting legacy of Norman Strickland Early Jr. and his outstanding service to our community. Section 2, that the clerk and recorder of the City and County of Denver shall affix the seal of the City and County of Denver to this proclamation, and that copies be transmitted to the Early family, the Denver District Attorney's Office, and the Denver Police Museum.
Thank you, Councilmember Watson. Your motion to adopt?
I move that proclamation 260198 be adopted.
It has been moved and seconded. Comments by members of council. Councilmember Watson?
Thank you, Council President. It is my honor to elevate this proclamation. I remember living in Nebraska. I moved to Colorado in 87, changed to Denver from 87 to 91. But I moved to Nebraska for a short period of time. And during that time, Norm Early ran for mayor of Denver. And I remember with living in Omaha, watching this race in the newspapers, highlighting two Black men in this city, not known for diversity, not known for elevating the Black experience, having two African-American men,
foundational Black
exemplars of our community, fighting it out for a position to lead this city in the Rocky Mountains. I remember watching his life, even after that race, and his commitment to the community. I see his son who looks exactly like him, maybe with less hair. It's exactly like him. But I think it's important. Many folks are not familiar with the history of District Attorney Norm Early. And to be a district attorney for a large city in the West took some grit, it took some work, and it took some fight. He didn't get into that position because it was the accustomed place for a Black person. He got into that position because he was the best at what he did. And his willingness to serve this city continuously throughout his life until his death is something that is exemplar of a public servant. And so it has been my honor to watch his life. It is my honor to elevate this proclamation. I thank you to the Denver Museum, Police Officers Museum, for bringing this and many of these other proclamations, ideas for proclamations forward that elevate the impact that African Americans have had when it comes to victims' rights and supporting our communities at large. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilmember Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll just add some brief comments to Councilman Watson. I knew Norm fairly well, and I remember when Cooley resigned to run for mayor in '83 when Governor Lamb appointed him.
Exactly,
I remember meeting him down frequently down there at the DA's office was at the West Side Courts building, which is now, I think, the Bernie Valdez Center down there on Colfax and Spears. And from that day on, Norm showed Denver all of his integrity and his dedication to his profession and to the city as a whole. And Councilman is right. That was one of the most interesting mayoral contests I ever covered in the newspaper. And to have a majority white city send two Black men to the mayoral runoff was remarkable, probably to people outside of Denver. But to those of us in the newsroom, and I suppose over at the Post as well, around the city, who knew these men, it was not surprising at all. And I can't believe that's his son. I haven't seen you in ages. But this is a well-deserved recognition. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Councilmember Hine.
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye.
Hubbards. Aye. Blacc.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Cashman.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Terry.
Aye.
Romero Campbell.
Aye.
Sawyer. I'm sorry. Torres.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Donovan. Sandoval.
Aye. Madam Secretary, close the vote and announce the results.
11 ayes.
11 ayes. Proclamation 0197 has been adopted. We now have 5 minutes for the proclamation acceptance. Councilmember Watson, who would you like to call up?
I'll call up the family. So Adriana Early and Kendall Early, if you mind coming up for a few words. And then after, I'll ask DA Walsh and some of the other district attorneys to come up as well.
That's his son.
This is amazing. I want to thank everyone here on behalf of my mom and Nina and me, Kendall Early, who was the baby during the mayoral
was a baby.
You saw different moments. This is incredible.
I was a baby too.
For us,
Like 4.
knowing just how much my father did for this city and for the state, whether it was championing victims, whether it was really putting forward ways that Black lawyers could continue to thrive and thrive even more. And obviously his work with children too. And I remember hearing stories. I was obviously very young when he was doing many of these things. Another thing of him going into high schools and really cheering on kids and celebrating them. And I think during this moment of Black History Month, where we are obviously learning and growing and trying to do better as a city, a state, a nation, he knew that we should continue to invest in our children. And he did so every single day of his life in such a meaningful way. And one of the ways that he also invested was with people we worked with his incredible honorariums. I've heard about a ton. He's sure you're right. To individuals who were in his office. I also want to make sure he could do as well. I think everyone that we worked with as well, who supported him every step of the way. And some of whom are here today behind me, and they were just as much part of him becoming the individual who he did become as he was. And he would be the first one to say that. So I thank everyone who is here and those who weren't able to make it for this amazing proclamation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it was so eloquent. And I'm just going to thank you for honoring everyone in this manner. And I know that Norm would have been so proud. And for this tribute from the city that he loves so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Oh Lord, that punk ass
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Walsh. I'm today's district attorney for Denver. And I just want to thank the council for this recognition of someone who's truly a towering figure in the Denver DA's office, but also in the Colorado legal community and beyond. It's not for nothing that he served as president of the National Association of Black Prosecutors. That is a significant step that he took in those years of the 80s and early 90s to really make a lasting impact. I would just say that his impact on the Denver DA's office is truly indelible. And in fact, if you look behind me, you'll see many, many members of the Denver DA's office, current and former, who are here to recognize the legacy that Norm Early left because of the impact that he had on them individually. I want to invite all of you on City Council to a reception that we're holding on Wednesday at 4 p.m. It's going to be held at the Museum for Black Girls over at the Denver Pavilions. And it would be wonderful to see as many of you as can attend. And I also just want to call out and give special thanks to our Chief of Staff, Lisa Willis, at the Denver DA's office, who is responsible for so much of the recognition of and just worked tirelessly to make sure that that happened. And finally, also do want to call out Mike Hess from the Denver Police Museum for all his support for this proclamation and so many other things. Thank you very much.
Sit it down.
If everyone wants to meet the sponsors in the hallway, you can all take a picture and we'll get started with the other business. Thank you all for coming. We have 3 required public hearings tonight. As a reminder, council members need to turn their video on during the vote.
Hot mic moments.
Thank you so much.
Just such a so
Try to take your pictures upstairs, okay?
Because when Heinz is there, it's the second.
Her little soccer ball.
For those participating in person, when called upon, please come to the podium. On the presentation monitor on the wall, you will see your time counting down. For those participating virtually, when called upon, please wait until our meeting host promotes you to speaker. When you are promoted, please accept the promotion, turn on your camera if you have one, and your microphone. Speakers should begin their remarks by telling council their name and the city of residence, and if they feel comfortable doing so, their home address. If you have signed up to answer questions only, state your name and note that you are available for questions of council. Speakers will have 3 minutes. There is no yielding of time. If translation is needed, you will be given an additional 3 minutes for your comments to be interpreted. Speakers must stay on the topic of the hearing and must direct their comments to council as a whole. Please refrain from profane or obscene speech and refrain from individual or personal attacks. Councilmember Parody, will you please put Council Bill 25, 2020, changing the zoning classification for 2001 South Tacoma Overland on the floor for final passage?
I move that Council Bill 25, 2020 be placed upon final consideration and do pass.
It has been moved and seconded. The required public hearing for Council Bill 25, 2020 is open. May we please have the staff report?
Thank you, Council President, Council members. My name is Fritz Clausen from Denver's Community Planning and Development. Sorry about that. Community Planning and Development Department, of course. Here to present tonight with the rezoning for 2001 South Tacoma Street from URH 2.5 to CRX 5.
So you're about to peak.
Okay, tonight we'll go through the request, the location context, the process, the review criteria, and finally staff's recommendation. The request before us is to rezone 2001 South Tacoma Street from the current URH 2.5, that's urban row house 2.5 stories, to CRX 5, urban center residential mixed use 5 stories. The property is a 650 square foot lot, currently in single unit residential, a single family residential dwelling. The intention of the rezone is to allow residential and limited mixed use options. Now we'll look at the location context. The case tonight is in Council District 7, represented by Councilmember Alvarez, and in the Overland Statistical Neighborhood. Again, the existing zoning currently is URH 2.5. There are a number of other zoning designations in the area. To the west, we see a large area designated IA. Immediately to the west is a different CRX 5 zoned property. Immediately to the north is a CMX 5 zoned area. To the south, more URH 2.5. Immediately to the east, CMX 5, I believe. Proposed zoning CRX5, again, that is urban center residential mixed use up to 5 stories, allows townhouse and general building forms. The current land use is single unit residential, adjacent to multi-unit residential, industrial, commercial retail, and single unit residential. In the upper left corner, we see the subject property looking at it from the corner of Tacoma and Asbury, looking southwest. The bottom left picture is immediately to the north, a newer residential building on the north side of Asbury, Tacoma, and to the bottom right
is the property immediately adjacent to the subject property to the east. We'll see the process next. This application began with an informational notice on August 25th of last year. Planning board notice was, I'm sorry, there was a typo on there. Planning board notice was sent out on December 23rd of last year. Planning board public hearing was held on January 7th of this year. That was the second planning board hearing. It was originally heard on November 19th of last year. We decided to put it back on the planning board agenda because there was an issue with the registered neighborhood organizations getting the official notice that they're supposed to get via email. Following planning board approval, the application went to the South Platte River Committee on January 14th, and we are here tonight on February 23rd. As far as public comment goes, from individuals, we have heard 2 comments in support and 1 comment in opposition. Comments in support expressed support for more residents and more investment in the neighborhood, upzoning in the neighborhood generally. A comment in opposition expressed concern about preserving the existing character and residential buildings in the neighborhood. We have a letter in support from the South Broadway Business Association, RNO. There was another RNO in the area, the Overland Park Neighborhood Association, did not receive an official comment from them. Next to the review criteria, the zoning code specifies 3 review criteria for any rezoning. First, consistency with adopted plans. Second, public interest. And third, consistency with neighborhood context, zone district purpose, and intent. First, big one, consistency with adopted plans. You can see from that list there are a number of plans that apply to this property. We'll start going broadest to narrowest, starting at comprehensive plan 2040. With Denver, and then into smaller area plans. Comprehensive plan 2040. We see the proposed rezoning as consistent with many of the adopted Denver Comprehensive Plan 2040 strategies, which are organized by vision elements and the equitable, affordable, and inclusive vision elements. We see that the proposed rezoning will allow for mixed-use development and increase in lot housing density, which can enable additional housing units close to services and amenities. Therefore, we see it as consistent with the strategies listed in the equitable, affordable, and inclusive vision element, especially increasing development of housing units close to transit and mixed-use developments. For strong and authentic neighborhoods, the proposed rezoning would enable residential mixed-use infill development at a location where services and infrastructure are already in place. Therefore, we see the rezoning as consistent with following strategies in strong and authentic neighborhood vision element, including building a network of well-connected, vibrant mixed-use centers and corridors. For environmentally resilient vision element, we see the proposed rezoning as consistent with many strategies in the environmentally resilient vision element, including focusing growth by transit station and along high and medium capacity transit corridors. Probably should have noted in the context that this property is within the half-mile area of the Evans station, the light rail station. There's also frequent transit along Broadway nearby. Moving ahead toward Blueprint Denver. Blueprint Denver is a supplement to Common Plan 2040, establishes an integrated framework for the city's land use and transportation decisions. Blueprint Denver identifies the subject property as part of a community center place within the urban context. Gun provides guidance from there. Future neighborhood contexts are used to help understand differences in land use and build form at a larger scale between neighborhoods. Blueprint sees this area as an urban context. You can see it's also adjacent to areas indicated as urban center. Trust that in a moment. Homes in this context vary from multi-unit developments to compact single-unit homes. Development should be compatible with existing character, offer residents a mix of uses, and provide good street activation and connectivity. Just to talk about those contexts a little bit, because the zone district that is proposed is under the Denver zoning code in a urban center context. the difference here, urban center, more of a mix of uses throughout the urban center, throughout the context. Even residential areas are highly mixed use, often with multi-residential mixed use buildings. Both contexts feature a regular grid with consistent alley access. How we consider the context when there's a difference between proposed and what the plan specifies. There's a procedure for that in Blueprint Denver. Goes a little bit like this. When we're looking at it, when we're looking at different contexts, neighborhood context, place type, street types are always applicable. We pay particular attention to building heights and growth strategies. There's a general flexibility statement. Boundaries of the context may be interpreted with limited flexibility. If a request furthers the goals of Blueprint Denver is consistent with the overall intent of the neighborhood context map. So while proposed zone district has a different neighborhood context classification from the urban future neighborhood context recommended, following that specific guidance, looking at neighborhood context, place type, street type, building heights, growth strategy, we can see that the proposed rezoning to an urban center Denver zoning code district is appropriate and consistent as the proposed district allows a mix of uses and building forms that contribute to street activation, aligned with land use and building height guidance, and is compatible with the emerging mixed-use character of the area as it transitions away from industrial uses. Next slide, some more on that. So we see the place type recommended in Blueprint Denver is community center. Community centers, whether they're urban or urban center, they always typically provide a mix of office, commercial, and residential uses. Buildings often are larger in scale than local centers and oriented to the street or other public spaces. Buildings in this context exhibit a strong degree of urbanism with continuous building frontages, with heights generally up to 5 stories, and intensity transitioning out into the intensity highest in the center of the area, transitioning out into the surrounding neighborhoods. This is part of our overall growth strategy. Blueprint specifies a growth area strategy. Community centers and corridor designated areas are anticipated to absorb 20% of job growth and 25% of housing growth by 2040. There are additional strategies at play here in Blacc Denver that we feel apply. We want to promote and anticipate planned growth in centers and corridors and key residential areas connected by rail service and transit priority streets. We want to incentivize or require efficient development land, especially in transit-rich areas. And relating to that growth strategy, we want to capture 80% of new housing growth in areas that include community centers and corridors. One more thing about that. There is an ongoing process for the Southwest Area Plan. The Southwest Area Plan provides guidance and strategies for the city to create and preserve strong and opportunity-rich neighborhoods with diverse housing options that are accessible and affordable to all Denver residents. A key change that is being proposed in the Southwest Area Plan is to redesignate the area in question that includes this property from urban context to an urban center context, as well as recommend promotion of new affordable mixed income and mixed-use residential housing. Note on process about that, the Southwest Area Plan has been approved by the Planning Board. That happened on January 21st and will be coming for City Council for adoption next week. So, getting more granular into the Evans Station Area Plan. Essentially, the Evans Station Area Plan recommends a land use type of mixed-use residential, describing that as a primary use is intended to be residential, but office and retail may be supported. Plan recommends specifically a height of 5 stories, and we see that this proposed zone district is consistent with those plan elements, as it will support the transformation of an industrial area into an urban pedestrian-oriented neighborhood with a mix of uses and appropriate scale and form. More specific and also older, the Shattuck District Plan from 2003 suggests to put underutilized commercial and industrial parcels into more productive uses and to create a good mix of land use types, incorporating households and flyers and consumer-driven services. The Overland Neighborhood Plan from 1993 is a little bit antiquated at this point. suggests commercial and industrial businesses should invest in their sites, including beautification and cleanup. Second, public interest. We see the proposed visual map amendment as furthering the public interest, both through implementation of the city's adopted land use plans and by allowing for additional housing and neighborhood serving commercial uses connected to the rest of the region through transit. And finally, on consistency with neighborhood context, zone district purpose and intent statements in the Denver zoning code. We can look at those. I'm not going to read the whole things. The requested zone district is in the urban center neighborhood context, which generally consists of a mix of multi-unit residential, commercial, office, etc. Within this context, residential mixed-use zone districts are intended to promote safe, active, pedestrian scaled, and diverse areas through the use of building forms that clearly define and activate the streetscape in the public realm. Specifically, the intent of the proposed CRX5 zone district is to apply to residentially nominated areas served primarily by local or collector streets, where a building scale 2 to 5 stories is desired. Signal that we see that the requested rezoning is consistent with neighborhood context description and zone district purpose and intent, as the requested zoning is intended to provide for residential mixed-use development and a maximum height of 5 stories. Subject property is within walking distance of a light rail station and is located in an area recommended by an adopted station area plan for 5-story development. So, considering all that, based on the review criteria for reviewing the zoning code, staff recommends that City Council approve this application for rezoning at 2001 Commerce Street. Happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 3 individuals signed up to speak this evening.
Christie Street, Denver, Colorado, 80209. Council Chair, members of council, I'm the owner of the property and I'm here to answer any questions that you have. I'm not going to elaborate on Prince's excellent presentation because it was pretty much covered everything that needed to be said, but we're available for questions if needed.
Thank you. Next up, we have Jesse Paris.
Yes, good evening, members of council, those watching at home, those in the council chambers. My name is Jesse LaShawn Paris, and I'm representing for Black Star Action Movement for Self-Defense, Positive Action Command for Social Change, as well as the Unity Party of Colorado, the Northeast Denver Residents Council Frontline Black News, the Revolutionary Agenda, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and I reside at the roach and bedbug infested Legacy Lofts in Tedderman Watson's district of District 9, Fine District 9, historically Black District of District 9, otherwise known as the 5 Points, the Harlem of the West. I appreciate the proclamations. That's all well and good. This is Black History Month after all. That's the least you can do. But I didn't hear no mention of reparations. In regards to this rezoning at 2001 South Acoma Street, I have some questions. The first question is, what is the AMI level for the residential? Is it going to be for sale or for rent? Has there been a community benefit agreement signed? Because every time you do these kind of rezonings, there are unintended consequences that harm the neighborhood in which you do these rezonings. So I have that question. Has there been a traffic study done? That stretch of Broadway and that stretch of Evans is atrocious. So has there been a traffic study done? Has there been a parking study done? Has there been a traffic and a rail study done? What has been done to address the letter of opposition about the character of the neighborhood? If somebody please answer those questions, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, I'll see y'all on the next one.
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Who are signed up to speak. Do we have questions from members of council on Council Bill 25-2020? Councilmember Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple of questions. What is the minimum width of a lot in this CMX5? Because this is just a single family lot. I'm just wondering what the frontage is and what's the required for MX5.
I don't have that. in front of me.
Oh, Lord, corner.
This particular property is about 50 feet wide on a coma. So this property is 50 feet wide on a coma. I don't have the requirement figures offhand. It's above the requirement, but I don't think it's big enough to split it if that's what you're asking.
There's five stories on a 50-foot wide lot. Do we have other examples of that? And I realize the lot behind it is shown as CMX5.
Next door to the west. You know, I'm sorry, I'm caught a little bit off guard. I don't have other examples set up to go. I'm sure we could find some, you know, just 5 stories on this lot. I would agree with you. It seems pretty ambitious. I don't know if that would actually happen. You might have to ask the applicant about that. I don't have any examples.
Design standards that would say with 50 feet in width, 5 stories could not be done. It could only be 3, 4. What? Could the applicant address that? Is the applicant or representative from the applicant?
Yes, thank you.
I'm thinking tall and skinny.
So with respect to the lot width, I'm looking at Article 7. There's no minimum requirement for lot width in a CRX5. The reality is our goal is to put 5 individual townhomes on this site. 5-story townhome is not practical from the standpoint of I wouldn't want to live in one. I'm sure it would be you get to work out every day with the stairs, but so there's some practical realities, but there's nothing against that. And with respect to zoning, when you're adjacent to a protected district, the URH 2.5, which is a protected district, you have bold plane and setbacks that we would have to adhere to.
Thank you for that clarification. I really appreciate it.
I got to that. If I may tag on to that really quickly. Also, the requirement of being adjacent to a protected district is what's called an upper story setback. So it doesn't, the overall, the big picture kind of allowance is 70 feet. When you are adjacent to a protected district, as this property would be to the south, anything that remains URH 2.5 is protected district under the zoning code. So when you get above 27 feet, you have to step in. There's another step in above 51 feet. So it doesn't necessarily limit the overall height, but it requires that the building basically gets narrower as it gets taller.
Thank you. The last thing is, my second and last thing, Fritz, I'm a little uncomfortable having a cart before the horse feeling with the change in context to urban center because we have not yet adopted the Southwest Area Plan. I know that that's the recommendation next month, the first meeting next month, we'll be hearing that, but it's not code yet, and it's not the context yet. So it seems a little bit like jumping the gun. And I guess maybe what I would ask the planning office to do is not to bring us to hearing on something that rezones to a condition that is not yet authorized.
Mm-hmm.
And what would happen if we voted down the Southwest plan?
You can't do it.
That inconsistent.
That means they can't do
So I don't want to
it. It doesn't
prejudge
have
that.
consistency
It would
with
be
adopted
nice to
plans.
have the office
It doesn't meet all 3 of the criteria.
bring that to us in proper
So
order
they can't
next
approve
time.
this shit tonight.
Thank you.
So you have to postpone it or something.
Thank you. Councilmember Alvarez?
Thank you so much, Council President, and thank you to the applicant for the outreach. I know they were able to connect with RNO, but I did want to ask just at least one of Jesse's questions. I think overall, very understanding that it's right next to the rail and all of those things, but I just, are you planning on for rent or for sale product? If you could come up and just answer that question.
Thank you. Thank you, Flora. That's the least you can do.
Our goal at this time would be for sale.
I appreciate that. And then for 5 units, it's going to be all market, right?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Seeing no other council members in the queue, public hearing is closed. Comments by members of council on Council Bill 25-2020. Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you to the applicant with outreach and communication throughout the process. It was a little weird since the started years ago, and now we're here, but that tends to be the theme around here. So thank you for your patience, and thank you, Fritz, for the great presentation. I'll be supporting this rezoning and ask my colleagues to do the same.
But it doesn't make consistency. It doesn't. It's not consistency with the other funds. You're gonna approve the shit anyway.
Madam Secretary, roll call on Council Bill 25-2020.
Councilmembers Khan,
Aye.
Sawyer,
The alarm's going
Aye.
Robbins,
Aye.
Glenn,
Aye.
Cashman,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Harry,
Aye.
Romero Campbell,
Aye.
Torres,
Aye.
Watson,
Aye.
Madam President Sandoval,
Aye. Madam Secretary, close the voting and announce the results.
11 ayes.
11 ayes, Council Bill 2020 passed. Councilmember Perry, will you please put Council Bill 26-0001, changing zoning classification for 12150 East Avenue Drive in Montbello, on the floor for final passage?
I move that Council Bill 26-0001 be placed upon final consideration and be passed.
This has been moved and seconded. The required public hearing for Council Bill 26-0001 is open. May we please have the staff report?
Right. Come on with the damn staff report.
Good evening, my name is Edson Ibanez with Community Planning Development. Before you today, we have 12150 East Andrews Drive. So the request is to go from a multi-unit up to 3 stories in zone district to a mixed use up to 3 stories. So this specific presentation will go through the request, we'll look at location and context, we'll go through the process and kind of wrap up with the review criteria for this rezoning application. So the site itself is highlighted in red here. The subject property is just over, it's approximately 3.4 acres, or 149,000 square feet. It's currently a church and assisted living facility, also classified as a residential care. And the request is to go from a